Trying to get the credence back. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. I just had someone do an impression of me in the hall.
That's always weird when someone says that. Did you enjoy the impression or no?
Well, I don't think anyone likes an impression of them or thinks it sounds like them, but it's nice to know people are doing impressions of you. You know, I gotta feel, you know.
Oh, that's flattery for sure.
Yeah, it's gotta be flattery.
But I think that anytime someone says to someone else, oh, they do an impression of you, all parties except for the person who forced that person is not enjoying it. Like the person who is doing the impression is like, right. I did not want to do this to your face.
Well, Pete said, oh, we were just doing an impression on our show. Pete
Dominic?
Yes, Pete Dominic. Did I not make that clear? So Pete Dominic says, my guy Chris was doing an impression of you in your show, on our show today. And then I go like this, hey, I thought you were going to swing the election, Pete. He goes, oh, no, we try, but I can't do it. So then he goes, yeah, Chris does the impression. And Chris is like, I don't want to do the impression. And then he's like this. Finally, I'm like, I want to hear the impression. He's like this. Hey, I'm ready to be. Hey, here's a cigar.
That's his impression.
That was him. Me doing him. Like
right.
I'm
an impression of impression.
You know what? I'm probably doing a bad impression of him right now. Doing an impression of.
I don't know. This is like an impression. Inception.
That's what it sounds like.
But nobody likes it. Vito did an impression of me once, and I was like, he said something like, "This is how you like when you laugh and you get really tiny." I don't know.
That's it.
So every time, when Gail laughs, she'll just start laughing.
First of all, there is some truth to what he's saying.
That I just get smaller the more.
Can I
laugh.
also say this, Gail? Can't you see that he's in love with you?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone can see that.
He's right in front of you, and you ignore it. I made up that part. I just forgot all the things. But I do like that there's a little bit of cigar damaged voice to it, because people used to tell me, you know, and now it's down a little down here, a little more,
yeah.
a little more Nick Nolte.
You gave yourself a little more gravel.
Well, I have TB.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Is your TB getting any better?
I believe it is. I'm going to go up and live in the Poconos for a while. Fresh air will do me good. Can you imagine if you lived in a time where it was just air? Is all the medicine?
Oh, it's just this wet, shitty air is the problem.
Yeah, it's the country. That'll clear it up.
You know, everybody used to go up to upstate New York, too. And they would just sit up there and slowly die.
Oh yeah, that it was like that place up on a mountain.
Yeah, it's always fresh
in the Adirondacks.
Yeah, and they go, oh, it's wintertime. Sit outside with a fucking cover across your legs. Before you know it, you'll be better. You feeling any better? Not really. It's the TB that's bothering me.
See, I feel like desert air would be the best case scenario for a sickly person.
I thought you were going to say dessert air, and I'd dive at that.
So chocolatey.
I would dive at that. Meeting at the Hard Rock at 4:30 today, post show.
That is not for everyone to see.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Tom in New York had a little question for us. It's 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God on your cellular telephone, since no one uses a landline. And everybody's phones stink now. 844 Rock God, if you'd like to talk to us. I've been working very closely with Chris Christie on the transition team.
What are you doing for them?
Yesterday, I just got him ice cream. I'm going to do what I can, though. Tom, what can we do for you, buddy?
Hey, Ron, musical question for you.
Good. I want to have a musical question.
All right. That Creedence song is one of the famous Misheard lyrics. I'm assuming, or I'm hoping, maybe you know what it is, if you don't.
I'm not a big Misheard lyric fan.
No, I hate it
Chris,
myself.
Go to the lyrics there and just give me the initial lyrics and see if we can guess. Just give us the opening line, see if we can guess what it is.
I see the bad moon arising.
I see the baboon arising, I'm going to say. Gail, do you have one?
I see the bad food I don't know.
I
What?
see the bad food rising. What would you say, Chris?
I see the bad poon rising.
Okay.
Oh, that's
You always work dirty.
disgusting.
You always work dirty.
What?
Well, I mean, when you go to there, we got nowhere else to go. I'm not saying you don't go dirty, but we have to
Yeah.
end there. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
our beginning spot.
What am I supposed to do? The buttholes,
You know,
and cum and stuff.
Well, see,
rising.
it'll never be as funny as bad poon.
Yeah,
But like
damn it.
in our improv class, right, that we take, we're first level UCB, and I mean we're playing freeze tag right away. Chris goes, "Look, I'm a warded cock," and I'm like, "Now where do we go, Chris?"
God.
But it's just fun to say warded cock.
Tom, what were the famous lyrics?
Well, according to John Fogerty himself, and I hate him as much as you do, Ron.
No, hate him. I love the man.
Oh, there's a bathroom on the right.
There's a bathroom on the right. See, I don't think that's the opening line, though.
I didn't say it was the opening line.
I was under the impression it was opening line. I definitely would have got it if you would have said from the hook. Oh, gee. All right, thanks, Tom.
God damn it.
No, I like all the Fogertys. I don't get involved when bands fight with each other.
Maybe. Well, here's why would anyone think it was a bathroom on the right when Bad Moon is clear throughout the rest of the song?
Some people don't sing until the hook, and some people really don't listen to music. Like, to be totally honest, most people don't give a fart about the lyrics. They just don't. Hey, Turtle in Iowa. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Maha, Ronnie.
Maha.
I was at the Iowa Hawkeye football game 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm standing in line at concession. Family next to me, Molly's Cupcakes is a sponsor at the football game, and the mom says to the kid, "Oh, look, they have Molly's Cupcakes here." And the kid was probably 7 or 8 years old, and he looks at the mom and he goes, "I want a Ron Bennington."
Oh,
nice. That is so sweet.
You just made my day today.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I thought it was pretty cool. 50,000 people at a football game, and you can get a Ronnie B.
I love that story, and I'm very surprised about this, but the Iowa Mollies are exploding. I mean, they're moving faster than the Chicago, per cap. I mean, they keep opening up more stores. But to know, at my favorite team of all time, the Iowa Hawkeyes, and that's because, to be honest, that's because I was a MASH fan first. You know what I mean?
It's fine.
But I love that story, and I love that sweet boy who ordered himself a Ron Bennington. And go ahead and enjoy it. It's going to be nice and tasty thing for you there. Is that Patrice?
I don't think it is.
Doesn't it look like him, though?
I believe it's Scoob.
What's the story with Scoob?
No idea.
He's a rapper?
Maybe. I just know he has his own jersey on.
No, not that Scoob. The guy that looks like Patrice, you racist.
Oh, my God. You're a racist.
Just why would I say that dude doesn't even slightly look like Patrice? And you're racist?
Oh, my God. It's obviously the other dude in the hat.
I don't
you see the guy that looks like Patrice?
I don't see. I just saw that large dude right there.
No. Do you see the guy who looks like Patrice?
I see a guy that could look like Patrice.
With the hat and the gold
I don't
chain.
even see anyone with a hat and a gold chain.
Come walk over here, you moron.
God damn it.
You see the guy who looks like Patrice.
Yes.
Right. I did not say anyone looked like Patrice because they happen to be black. I'm saying the man physically looks like Patrice, wears the same kind of glasses, and dresses the same. And then you turn around and just say that any black man looks like Patrice.
I mean, he doesn't look anything like Scoob.
Nobody looks like Scoob. He's an original. 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. If you want to tell us what football game you were at and you saw Ron Bennington, if you want to see if we can get misspoke lyrics. Bert Kreischer tomorrow. Friday's coming so fast this week.
I know.
I also have a signed poster by Bert.
Nice.
I got to decide it personally.
That's a great poster, too.
Have you guys heard the Machine story all the way through that he's going to be doing?
I have heard the Machine.
It's the
before.
funniest story ever.
And it's amazing.
That premieres tomorrow night at Showtime. Everybody loves Bert. Now, this poster is not only, it's just not any Bert poster. This is the official Unmasked poster.
Yeah, it's huge. It's awesome. It's an awesome poster.
Just relax, dude. No one's fighting. This hung in the lobby of Sirius XM. As far as that, I forgot something else I wanted to give out. Oh, did you ever find out Johnny wanted to do something special with prizes?
Yeah, we found out.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it.
Well, why haven't you told me? Write it down for me.
I'm writing it down right now.
Because I like to make surprises for the lovely listeners of the show.
It's a very cool prize.
I had a struggle getting home last night with all the Trump problems going on. Oh, why don't we say that? Because they're coming in later today.
I think we can say it, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you want to check?
I'm going to check first.
You know what? We might be doing it as part of the games that we're playing there.
Okay.
Let's see. 71 million people watched the election. Just a little less than a Super Bowl, which is weird.
It's the strangest thing.
NFL's really, I can't remember a time in my life when I would turn on the S-Pen or any of the sports shows and hear people worried about football.
Yeah, what? I mean,
people aren't watching as much football.
Do you think that things like Red Zone, that's kind of the reason? Is it the actual sport itself? Is it the way that it's presented?
Well, we don't jack people up anymore, and that's kind of bum people out.
Now we just do, come on, man. And I guess that's for when you're annoyed at people.
What's that mean?
It's like, come on, man. If someone did something annoying.
Like you dropped the ball. Come on, man. He's not saying it the right way. He's supposed to be like, come on, man.
Oh, that does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
See, your thing, you make it sound like you're a rockabilly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you discussed it with the person. Now, we got off track here again because of Chris.
It's like another Scoob situation.
Yeah, you're right. That Scoop thing was fucking racially insensitive.
I realize.
But that's the way to be in a post-Trump world.
I guess. I think it's all right now.
Just a Trump cuck. But the NFL, I think it's people really seem to be annoyed by all the penalties. It seems to be more penalties than ever this year.
I don't think so.
People
But if you watched football and you were a lover of football your whole life, do you think increased penalties would actually be like, now I'm not watching anymore?
There's some reason people are turning it off. I'll give you this. How many stars do you think, like legitimate, holy shit, that person here stars in? Because I can only think of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Is there another star in that league besides Tom Brady?
With Peyton gone, I don't think so.
No, Peyton is gone. We all know that. But let's suppose we were here and we heard that any certain person, or if we said, oh, we don't have a signed ball for our contest, who could be, we'll give you this and everybody will be impressed. It's only Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers? Think he's still impressive?
I think he's the exact opposite of impressive now. Has he had an impressive career? Yeah. But does he seem like a star now? Does he seem like, holy shit, there's 2 minutes left in the game. The Packers have the ball. Oh, we're fucked because Aaron Rodgers is going to leave. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't feel like that. Now, if you're playing Brady, you feel like the game's never over. You feel like that guy's going to find a way to win. Do you feel like Aaron Rodgers can find a way to win?
Not with this season. I mean, this season he looks like shit.
We're going to go back a couple seasons. I mean, how long ago did he win his fucking ring?
5 years, maybe?
It doesn't feel like he's going to win another ring. I don't know.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, he's out. The Seahawks have just, since they lost to the Patriots, haven't done anything.
I don't know if he ever was the star.
Felt like it that first season when they were just so dominant. It's like, holy shit, he's the future in the NFL.
I don't remember anybody saying that. I remember everybody saying he's little and he moves around a lot and I hope he doesn't get hurt. I never felt like that fucking dude. I didn't even think he was the star of that offense.
Marshawn Lynch. It was him and Marshawn Lynch.
I think it was Marshawn Lynch was the fucking star of that team. And they would have won the Super Bowl if they didn't try to make Russell Wilson a star. I don't know. It just feels weird out there. I'll give you a thing. The Rams have drafted this kid.
Jared Goff.
He hasn't played a fucking down. He was drafted fucking first. Second was Wentz. Wentz has played, the whole season. He's kind of a solid kid. Maybe he's going to have a future.
Why is it that they haven't played him?
Well, why do you think they don't play people?
Stink?
I think he must stink.
It's a huge mistake.
Stink on ice, you think, maybe?
I think that even if you put him on ice, which you would expect to cool things down a little bit, you would still smell a stink. I watched Hard Knocks, and he was a dumb kid.
He's really stupid.
He didn't know where the sun came up. They asked him where the sun came up, and he goes like this. Well, it comes up around here, right? Doesn't it come up around here somewhere? And he was like looking around, like... So, I mean, the kid...
What was the context of him asking him that?
They just wanted to ask him a question, like, do you know where the sun comes up? And he said, somewhere around here. Now, this kid lives in California. He knows where the sun sets. You know what I mean? He knows it's dropping in the Pacific and the West. He didn't fucking know.
Oh, boy.
That kid must stink.
And they're very quiet when they ask about, look, Jared Goff's doing fine. He's practicing, but this is our starter. Jeff Fisher is just mum on the whole subject.
I don't know. I think the kid stinks.
He has to suck terribly.
On ice.
And that was a first round
Who sucks
draft
on ice? That's really ridiculous.
Jared Goff.
Even on ice, he sucks, I think.
He's even worse on ice.
But he should play hockey. I don't know. I think maybe the league just stinks now. No matter who it is.
Sorry.
Everyone stinks.
Who are the fucking most exciting teams? The Patriots, okay. And then who's after that? The Raiders?
I would leave it at the Patriots. I watched that fucking Raiders game the other night.
Fucking shit.
Did you see the missed arm tackles that went on in that? It was the slowest thing. And the fucking Oakland Raiders, which were the fearful fucking mean team of all time. They're just slapping the guy as he's running by. They're slapping at his shoulders. I fucking dare to go back and watch that. I forget where I was watching that game, but I was trying to tell people who weren't interested, look at this shit. I was trying to pull them over and go, look at this shit. Where do they replay this? I was fucking literally telling a woman, this fucking should not happen like this. And I go, you've been on ice before, right? And they're like, yeah. And I go, you ever smell anything? And they're like, no. I go, because it's impossible. And yet that tackling stinks so bad, you can smell it on ice. Hey, Jay, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 100%. I'll say 90% of it is due to fantasy and the daily, DraftKings and FanDuel. A lot of people are still watching this just like online or through like the red zone. Like I have 15 buddies we'll hang out every Sunday and we just leave it on the red zone all day.
Yeah, I know, and it isn't. The red zone isn't fun. I watch the fucking red zone too much, but a lot of times it's so I can catch the Eagles. You know what I mean? It's my only way because my fucking thing won't let me just buy the package.
That sucks.
I get to buy that for my dad. So I buy it, but not for myself.
Do you ever stream it?
I've never seen the Eagles. Very rarely do you see the Eagles on the Red Zone channel.
You know what, Jay? I mean, there's cruelty, all right? But you live in a place, let's face it, it's made up that you have a team, New Hampshire. They're not New England's fucking
bullshit.
I hear you, brother.
But that is a funny joke, and I deserved it. And you know what? You cheer for a fucking shit team for fucking 51 years. You deserve. You know what? My loyalty should be. I'm the cuck. I cucked out to this fucking team. But I was a trained cuck as a child. I was told as a child, look, the Eagles are on.
The life of a cuck.
What are you going to do?
It just happens.
Ted, Providence.
Hey, buddies, what's happening?
Hey, buddy.
Had a great time at Comedy 101 last week.
It is a lot of fun, isn't it, Ted?
Oh, man, it was great.
That was a great one.
I was laughing like, it was so much fun. I get to talk to you guys out front. Gail complimented my hat, and my wife embarrassed me by saying I wear it because I'm bald. Anyway.
It was a great hat. I remember it very
it's a fantastic hat. We got to bring that up to Providence sometime.
Oh, yeah, you guys will love it. Just anytime. I'll show you all around. Anyway.
I love it.
So, the NFL thing, I feel like I was actually in Philly for the first week, and I was watching Monday Night Football in a bar with my buddy, and like, remember when they find, or they, I don't know if they find him, Antonio Brown, for twerking in the end zone?
Yeah. They don't like people to twerk.
He's dancing a touchdown celebration, and it's a huge, and you could like feel the entire room was like, that was great, and then they flag or whatever, and everybody's just like, fuck this game. Like, it was just
they actually, because they can't watch people twerk, they quit.
I thought that it was just like an overly planned dance, or like
a twerk is.
Come on, you could bust into a twerk at any moment.
I never have.
I have, and I will.
A couple. First of all, I want you to plan your twerks because I don't want them to happen here. Ted comes up with, and let's kick this around. Are you disappointed that you don't see more fucking celebration?
I don't care about the celebrations. I just want to see him fucking score.
I'm just the opposite. I do care. I don't want anyone to do anything. I want you to act like you hit a home run. You put your fucking head down, you run the fucking bases. You don't. It should not be a shock to you that you caught a fucking touchdown pass.
I wish I could remember which Eagle 2 weeks ago, like, scored a touchdown. He did that thing where, like, he dives even though nobody was behind him and did, like, a little flip in the air. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, that's all it does is just give me anxiety because
that shit, you could always fumble the ball, too, which is always annoying. Alex, Dallas.
What's going on, Ronnie? How you doing?
Yeah.
I think Gail hit on something. You know, there's a lot of people trying to say why the ratings are down, why the NFL's, you know, potentially hurting, and everyone likes to bring up things that have been going on for a long time. I mean, it's not like the NFL's allowed celebrations for years and years. It hasn't. So it can't just be all of a sudden that's responsible for the big drop. You know, I do think one of the things we've heard, I host a radio show. And one of the things we've heard is that the people, you know, the Colin Kaepernick thing, I think ended up having a much bigger, as it spread, had a much bigger impact on a lot of fan base, as you can see by the presidential election. There's a lot of people who are, very on edge right now, and I think it had a bigger impact on the NFL and some of the ratings stuff, along with cord cutting of cable. You know, fewer. They're not consuming television the way we used to. It's just, and it's happening at a very, very rapid rate. And then the no fun league and the wife beaters, and it all adds up. And then you mentioned superstars. You're exactly right. There's no big superstars other than just a couple.
And, you know, by the way, though, you bring up the Colin Kaepernick. That was really up to the league. They did not have to, or you know, their partners at the television networks, they did not have to show that at all.
Right.
I got news for you. If I'm at a game, I'm trying to fucking not get there till after the national anthem. You know, I'm not going to sit there and look at the players, see who's doing what. I can give a shit. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, if you told me that the Eagles would get a fucking great player and he was in ISIS, I'd be like, let's wait till after the season and really look this over. I wouldn't give a shit if a guy knelt down at all. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. And I doubt very much that people in Missouri who fucking follow their team give a shit what Colin Kaepernick does. I don't think they're going to stop watching their team.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is kind of unique with football is football has more people who watch because it's 2 days a week who aren't hardcore fans who still watch, especially because of fantasy football. Or, you know, they just fringe fans who will watch, where you got to be a fan of baseball or basketball to watch. Football, you know, everyone can just tune in on Sunday for sure and check it out, maybe Monday night. But I think those fringe fans now, I think a lot of them do get turned off by things like the Kaepernick thing, and where the hardcore fans aren't it doesn't hit us the same way. For people who are less into it hardcore, they bail on the smallest things. And I think
I honestly think it's a way to blame the fucking black. First of all, it's a black league, right? So literally people should be like, well, I don't care about black people's problems during a game. Well, that's the league. You're watching a black league now, right? You know? All right, thanks, Alex. But I think that Kaepernick is taking the blame, but I could personally give a shit what anybody does up there. I think it has less to do with lack of greatness than anything else. That I remember And there's a lot more football being played. Like, for instance, the Thursday night game tonight.
Browns at Ravens.
Browns at Ravens. Who the fuck wants to watch the Browns at Ravens? Who the fuck would want to watch that?
An 0-9
but
team.
When it used to just be Monday night game, you didn't have to be a Super Bowl winning fucking team. There was plenty of great teams. And at the time that was happening, when it first started, Eagles had lousy fucking teams, right? And I was a fucking local Philly guy. I was fucking excited to see if the fucking Oilers were going to play fucking Pittsburgh. We were like, these guys are going to go out like fucking animals tonight. Earl Campbell's he's going to run for 180 yards and they're going to fucking try to break his ankles. We were thrilled. We were thrilled. I don't know if there's any great teams you can give a fuck about.
There's not a lot of great teams, and there's not a lot of great rivalries either. Like, Broncos-Raiders are supposed to have a rivalry. They were talking that up. And it was just a shit show game.
You're right. There's not a lot of great
fucking game.
There's not a lot of great games. There's not a lot to care about.
That was Sunday Night Football. So we don't have fucking Thursday night's always going to be garbage with this fucking stupid.
Are you yelling at me right now? Okay, because I'm on your side.
Got tense.
I couldn't back you up any more than I am right now.
Sunday Night Football's been terrible all season long. Monday, no national game is good.
Okay, Chris. I said that earlier, and I'm with you. Are you guys texting back and forth? Because he's texting like a maniac.
No, there was a guest thing with I'll tell you later.
Is it fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed. Yeah, it's fixed.
Who was in charge of it?
It was something that I had to talk to Greg Charles about. It's nothing. Everything's fixed.
It's not even for today.
It's not even for today, but it was.
No, isn't he supposed to be?
Yes, but
no, we're not doing anything with Greg.
No, we're not. But it was a miscommunication.
Well, write it down. Write it down for me. You know how you like to write stuff.
He does.
I got a lot of written stuff today.
I hope I get some notes today.
No, I thought you were. I saw you tweeting too. I thought you guys were.
No.
Back and forth.
I was getting. I was getting family updates.
Oh, what? Oh, you're Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, everything okay?
Doing okay. Yeah.
All right. Boy, we got nothing but problems. What are you writing? A book over there, Chris?
2 sentences.
Let me read this. It was a dark and rainy night. I don't even remember. Is that for tomorrow or today?
That was supposed to be for today, but that got taken care of last night, but they didn't tell him.
Oh, okay.
Can I see the note?
Yeah. It seemed like you're right in the middle of it. Why did we even okay that guy?
I can't remember, but he was okayed.
Because we're friends with his management, and we're doing them a favor.
Yeah.
See, this is some of the things that you don't know. Sometimes, and it's rare, sometimes you'll listen to the show and you go, I don't know why that booked that person on. And you find out that their management or their PR company book a lot of other people that are good for the show. And every once in a while, we like to do a little, hey, glad to help you.
Well, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Why don't you write down even who that person is? Because I don't remember. I don't always remember who people are. I'll tell you who I can remember who they are. I remember Marlon Brando. I know him.
Sure.
I think he's fucking
Was he behind
great.
this booking?
No, here's the thing. And when a lot of people say, Marlon Brando's no good, I'll go, what? Why don't you watch The Godfather or The Waterfront? This fucking guy is good. All right? So don't tell me Marlon Brando is not a good actor.
Is that what all this is about, Chris?
No.
Chris, just text this back. Yeah. Stella. And then just write.
Don't know what it means.
Tell me there's no. Yeah. But who's the guy? I know who the boss is, but who's the guy that we said yes to? What's he from? Stop showing his name.
He almost said it.
I want to know what he's done. Why I would care.
It was just he's a stand-up. That's
but he's not known for anything.
He's known for this.
Okay.
Chris is running out of paper. Well, you should probably write smaller.
Your G could be on a fucking billboard. That's what I'm trying to say to you, Chris. Your fucking G's are too big, Jesus.
That's what they call me, G-Love.
No one calls you that.
You're right.
Caitlin.
Hey, what's up?
What do you say?
So just talking about what's wrong with the NFL. You know, I've been watching it since I was a kid, and I just feel like the greediness is coming through so much lately. You know, I know they make NFL, you know, they make money and all that, but they're suing people for putting on stuff to emulate their dead mothers, and they're getting sued for that and fined for that. And, you know,
I'm
they
fucking
got
confused.
Football at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Who wants to get up at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday so they could film something in London?
But, you know, if you're on the West Coast, you're getting up that time in the morning just to see the fucking 1 o'clock games. The 1 o'clock games, what time do they start out there? Like fucking 10 in the morning?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then now they're getting up at 6:30 to watch the London game.
Hey, what about the people in Hawaii? They're getting up in the middle of the fucking night to watch a game. Let's do more for the people of Hawaii.
All right, I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thank you. I enjoy the stuff that you're saying, though. You're coming in hot. I like that fucking attitude. Yeah,
good.
You're fucking bringing it to those fat cats. CJ, California.
Ronnie.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I just had a vision talking about the NFL that should scare us all. In February, we're going to be watching the Super Bowl with the two hated teams, the Cowboys and the Patriots, and our president's going to be Donald Trump. It's almost like the movie Idiocracy in the real time. Like, imagine that's our world. We're going to listen. Trump will overturn all the concussion rules. He can overturn all of them, and we're going back to the good old days. There's going to be Smash Mouth. He's bringing it all back. So we're okay.
All right, thanks. I'd like to see him build a wall around fucking the Cowboys.
That'd be amazing.
Let's put the Cowboys on the other side of the wall. I like hating the Cowboys. It's always a lot of fun. I don't like it when they stink bad, because then it's like you can't even hate them.
Did you see Jerry Jones do the mannequin challenge?
Yes, I did, and I saw the thing that you wrote that I considered to be bad taste.
Bit much.
Well, particularly when you're not paying attention to one of our fathers suffers from that very thing.
Okay.
Not mine. Hopefully not Gail's. But, because that would be terrible. Because that would be me.
Yeah. Are people still doing the mannequin challenge? That seemed like it was like a 24-hour thing.
Oh, no. It's gigantic.
It's still going on?
Yeah. People are still mannequinning.
I thought we were just doing the Andy's Coming challenge.
What's that?
That came after the mannequin challenge, or at least
I missed this.
So Andy's Coming is a reference to the Toy Story movies. So it's similar in somebody yells something out and then everyone drops, like the way the toys do when somebody says Andy's coming.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But why, when you make a joke about any disease, why would you think that somebody is not connected to it?
I'm the worst.
I got a tearful phone call about that. And I had to say, no, he's just stupid. He's not being
good.
Oh my God, that's usually the answer to everything that's wrong with Chris. I keep it in mind, always. Even if it doesn't apply. Just think it randomly.
John of Philly.
John?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Going
back to what Gail was saying about the Eagle who jumped into the end zone after running back and kickoff for a touchdown. The next week, when they started practice again, he lives in South Jersey, driving across the Walton Bridge, at like 100 miles an hour, gets pulled over on the bridge itself. Loaded gun, bag of weed in the car. He is no longer an Eagle.
Oh,
you can't fucking get pulled over and continue to be an Eagle.
I think that had something to do with that dive into the end zone, though.
I think he was high on weed and bullets when he did it.
After he got arrested, he said, "What? Everyone in the NFL has a gun."
Then he also said,
"Great,
I had fucking bullets in my pocket when I was running for that fucking touchdown." And they said to him, "What are you doing with a pocket and fucking football pads?" And he goes, "Where else am I going to keep a weed?"
I wish you just hadn't talked.
I wonder what Trump is going to do about these states with weed. It's very erratic that, you know what I mean? They still can't use banks. They can't use federal banks.
Yeah, I think we must have to take care of this nationally for that reason alone.
Yeah. I know one thing. Florida just let the medical marijuana go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And as soon as PA does, I'm going to figure out what to do about this neck ache of mine. I got a neck ache, bad. You got any weed back there?
Some edibles.
Good.
What are the things you can do in California to get the prescription? Anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
But I think that's
Like
off
headaches.
the table now. I think it's just wide open.
It's recreational now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to lie and say that you're fucking nervous. You can just, first of all,
I'm nervous about not having weed.
Weed makes people more nervous.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Soda about this, right? Because he's a fucking edible guy. And I go, I don't know how you guys deal because the weed's so strong. I don't know how you're not fucking weirded out. He goes, oh, I am all the time. I am all the time. And I go, I wouldn't want to do it.
Why?
I don't want to get into a weird fucking situation where I don't want to leave.
No.
Like, oh, I don't want to leave this room.
This is
Because
where
of the
it's
fucking
safe.
weed hide.
I don't like any kind of mess with your head high.
That's the thing about alcohol. People get fucking less stressed on alcohol.
Yeah.
Although they will get emotional. It's like if you're in any kind of depression, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're fucking with a buddy and he's drinking. He starts to tell you about some girlfriend from 10 years ago and he starts sobbing. You're like, dude, I know you feel like you're upset about this, but it was 10 years ago. I think you're just drunk.
You're liquored up.
No, man. My whole fucking life could have been different.
No.
She was a great girl.
She was fucking great. I was a dick to her.
Well,
No one ever gets drunk and acts like people were a dick to me. They finally figure out what a dick they are. Like, what percentage, let's say a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on things that you wish that you didn't do, say, take seriously?
3 maybe?
You're 3.
What?
I got to be a 9 to a 9.7. I sit back and look at my life and I'm going, oh my God, I wish I didn't do this.
Oh, yeah. I think it's concerning that yours isn't higher, Chris. And I'm not just saying you. It's just like, I think most people should probably have a high number. You should look back at what you've done and go, I've made some mistakes.
Not sociopaths.
Right.
I mean,
True.
I don't think
That's what you've got.
Donald Trump is not, I did everything beautifully. Very, very good. Here's why I'm so fucking annoyed today with Chris Christie. And I won't get into it. This is the honeymoon period. But he said, they asked him, because he's running everything for Trump, what about the special prosecutor? What about going after Hillary Clinton? And he said, politics is over. It's time we move ahead. So, if you would have watched last year, fucking Chris Christie did an entire thing at the Republican convention of lock her up.
Yes.
And what he's saying is that's just politics. He never meant it.
Right.
What else didn't they mean?
Well,
Are we not getting a wall? No, you know what? I'm giving a honeymoon period. I'm dying to see the wall.
But those were if you think about what did the Trump supporters chant through these last 18 months, it was build the wall and lock her up.
Drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp was the third one.
Okay, so
and now
that one, maybe?
Well, drain the swamp would mean that we put term limits on the Congress and Senate. If they don't do that, that's three things that we're chanting about for no reason.
And they seem like 3 really big, points that he really ran on those.
They were the most popular chants at the rally. No one wanted to say "cuck the swamp."
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
But it's fun to say.
What about drain the cuck? That makes more sense.
That seems like
and
the
that
cuck
seems
wouldn't
like
be a cuck anymore.
I know, and that seems like a nice thing to do for a cuck.
It would seem if you drained the cuck, he would be a valued partner in the threesome, and not someone just to sit in the corner and suck their thumb. I don't know. I'm giving him time. Like I said yesterday, I'm giving him time. I'm trying to walk home yesterday. Massive thing going up 6th Avenue. Thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, it was
walking in front of our fucking building.
Really huge gathering.
By the way, if you saw me in that protest yesterday, I'm simply walking home. I'm going the same way as the protest.
You support them.
I chanted a little bit because, to pass the time. But you can't walk back to the east side without being in the protest yesterday. And the protest was getting, for day 0, pretty ugly. Pretty ugly.
Yeah.
We might we might be up for some bad shit if it doesn't calm down soon. Winter normally helps.
Winter does. Well, winter kind of killed Occupy Wall Street. They're like, actually,
it was freezing out there.
It's pretty cold.
Bad winter.
And they took our park away. So.
A lot of that took place because, a lot of the reason they were lucky is that we're not Miami. If we were, we'd probably still be occupying.
Oh, yeah. It'd be huge.
Just like boat drinks being served.
We'll never stop growing.
I loved Occupy.
Hey, have you guys heard the Westworld theme with the metal guitar riff?
Oh, yeah, it's so great. It's really, really awesome.
Also, bringing up Colin Kaepernick, nobody jumped in with this. I should have been on it. Stanley sent it in. But Colin Kaepernick didn't vote after all of his Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
He didn't cast a vote.
Really?
Yeah, he said it didn't matter who got in because none of them were going to help black people.
I think he might be right about that. I'm not going to help. I can't. I'm so tired with my own shit.
Oh, I know. You've got too much going on.
Well, I got this gig that I'm doing Monday night, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's it, really. That's all I really have right now.
But that's going to take up a lot of your energy. See how you feel after Monday night.
Okay.
If you want to help.
I don't, though. I know it.
Okay.
I know that I've been trying. All right, listen to this. Now, you guys, you still like Westworld?
Yes.
I'll admit, I'm getting a little more and more lost every week. I think that we should have stayed more in Westworld before we went back to the politics of the thing. You know what I mean? I don't think I've got enough Western stuff.
You need more. More West.
I think this thing should have been slowly the onion coming out, and we're almost like, why do I care anything that's happening in Westworld now?
Right. You don't care about like the dude who peed.
Did you see the last episode?
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't need the corporate espionage part.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Too much.
Anyway, here's the theme.
Agree.
Here's the theme. Anyway, instead we're just hearing a riff instead of the Westworld theme. But the important thing is this: they play it that way. You can do it on your own, and you don't have to put it in the middle where Chris does. But go and listen to it; you'll enjoy it. Because I've always kind of liked the theme.
I really liked the theme. I liked the opening too. Like the opening credit sequence is really cool with with the weird Westworld creatures. I don't know.
Yeah, they're creatures. That's what they call them.
Hosts. It's like a horse host.
I think that there's actually shows out there that I like the credit sequence more than I enjoy the actual show. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm binge watching something, I will not skip over the credit sequence. Ever. Even if it's not a great one. But there's ones that I'm like, I can't wait to start up that song again.
I'm trying to think, because I don't binge watch as much as most people, but I remember feeling like I was just stuck at the beginning of Breaking Bad for... I felt like I had a meth problem. That's how quickly it was coming back.
I think that the opening credits of Orange is the New Black might actually be better than the whole show.
I think it might be better than the network that they're on.
It's a good song. Yeah. I sing along every time.
Let's hear it.
Well, he started in the middle.
Why do you keep doing that? You need to switch out.
No.
You never switch out with him. We never get this thing going.
All right.
I don't want to hear it. No, Chris. It's too There's too much middle stuff. I can't constantly be in the middle.
You're Malcolm in the middle right now.
I would love to hear that fucking
great credit sequence also.
Yeah, go to that. Hey, Nick, what's up?
Hey, buddies.
Hey.
Is the group protesting really a group of personalities that you're worried about? Like, if it was the Trump frat boys doing the shit, I'd be a little nervous. But I can't imagine that these 20, 22-year-old people protesting this thing, which is ridiculous already. Not to mention they're protesting against half the people. Like, it's not against half the people who did this shit.
Look,
amongst the people.
Nick, when it came to the frat boys fighting the black guys, I'm not going to pick the Trump guys. I mean, Donald Trump himself has never even been in a fight. So, but he did have bone spurs during Vietnam. But I don't know. There's some. I mean, this isn't fucking San Diego, and I know that you keep the Mexicans down there, but the people marching here, there's some fucking badasses in New York.
Yeah.
Marching.
I mean, right now you see that, it's a gathering of people. It's something, I know it angers people for when people protest. It's
I feel like people need to blow off some steam.
Yeah,
I know
it's
a lot
assembly.
of people are saying it, don't. I go ahead and blow off some steam for a little while and see what happens. No one knows what Trump's going to do here. But that guy with the goofy fucking laugh, I don't even understand that. Trump's great. There's no, and nobody's afraid of a frat boy under any fucking circumstance.
No.
I mean, Vito wanted to be one, but he's too hairy and big.
And that's mean. That really makes me not like them.
Well, that's
Who
the
wouldn't
whole
accept
reason
this?
to have it. I
sweet
mean,
boy?
Frat boys are the male version of mean girls. You know what I mean?
You gotta shave down if you're a frat boy.
I want you guys to get to the story that you were trying to tell me when you were going down to Big J's show. You guys were in a cab or an Uber?
Yeah, we were taking an Uber down to go see What's Your Fucking Deal. And so we're in the car. I believe for some reason Vito was confused about the library.
He thought the library moved across the street.
Yeah, he was going, oh, I thought the library was on this side. When do they move the library? And we're going, no, the library's always been on that side. What are you talking about?
New York Public Library?
Yeah, across the street it said New York Public Library, and it was like really well lit.
Yeah, but there's another library
Between
on the
the
corner.
lions, brother.
Yeah, but there's like another section. Look, there's a lot of libraries. We're trying to say this one has been there for a while.
Yeah.
So as we're all kind of arguing about it, and for some reason the cab driver gets involved. He's like, that library has always been there. And he's having this conversation as he like kind of looks over. All of a sudden, right by my window, there is a guy on a bike who just slams his window like, hey, I'm here. Don't like merge into my lane.
Yeah.
But like whacks the window really angrily and yells. So we're like, whatever. Then he speeds back up and Chris has his window open and he directly yells into the window something like, oh, you're going to be that dude?
You're going to be, he yells, you're going to be that fucking guy?
Yeah.
Well, why did you yell that to you?
I have no idea. I don't know what guy I was being.
He wasn't being any guy. We're just being passengers. So we're like, whatever. Those, you know how those fucking bike, dudes, like they're always so testy and like ridiculous. And by the way, there was a fucking bike lane 3 lanes over from where we were.
Yeah,
and he wasn't in it. He's in the middle of the street and he's bebopping and scatting all over the place. He's like treating it like, it's his fucking thing. He speeds up, gets in front of us, cuts across, finds his way to a cop, and they pull us over.
What?
The cops pull us over in this SUV.
Pull us over, and we can hear him out the window going, he hit me. This guy fucking hit me.
And you said it was Chris?
Well, he's saying it was the car that we're in. So immediately the cab driver's like, guys, you saw what happened. We're like, oh, yeah, we saw what happened. Yeah. This guy's in the middle of the street. He slammed the window just to be an asshole. He's angry at you, but you definitely didn't hit him.
You never hit him.
You didn't hit him. Whatever. We don't think it's a fucking big deal. This fucking cop gets out of the car, immediately goes over to the window. The cab driver starts to explain. He goes, hold on. Looks in the back seat and goes, I'm not going to even ask why it smells like weed in here.
That's what he opens with.
Well, first of all, he kind of did like you did.
And we're like, what? I mean, to the point that it was just
smell like weed?
No. It smelled nothing like we're in a cab. Why would we? Literally, none of us have weed. None of us have smoked any weed. Our cab driver is not smoking weed. And he's going, sir, I'm a cab driver. We're not friends. This is a cab. And he's just like, okay, license, registration. So he's trying to get it out and speak to this guy, just being like, okay, but my passengers would tell you. And he's like, are you going to stare at me? Or are you going to give me your license and registration? So at this point, we're trying to break in and he won't let us. It was fucking terrifying. And immediately my head's like, this feels like one of those moments where all the power is on one dude who said we did something wrong.
Yeah.
This fucking cop saying we smell like weed. And we're like, none of these things are true, and he won't let us talk.
What are you guys, 17?
It was
fucking you can be intimidated from smoking weed?
But we were just like, what the fuck? Why can't we just talk to this guy?
For a second, I thought I might have had weed on me, even though he's.
No, by the way, when he said, you guys will talk to this police officer, right? And my initial thing was just to be like, yeah, okay, we'll take care of it. And I'm like, hey, Chris, don't talk, because I just have a feeling that the authority figure isn't going to like you.
Because he screams too much.
Yeah, like I just thought he was going to be too screamy and too weird. And I was just like, everyone stay cool. Like, I got this. And as soon as I tried to chime in, he accused me of smoking doobies in the back of the cab.
It was really weird that he came on so aggressive.
By the way, when he goes and checks the cab driver's license, the cab driver immediately got mad at us and was like, I thought you guys said you were going to speak up. And we're like, you saw what happened. This dude said we're smoking reefer back here.
He told us all to shut up.
He told us to shut up. And he was just like, you said you'd help.
First of all, how can you blame anyone in the back of a cab? What happened between two fucking vehicles?
I know. I thought that this was going to be an easy. And by the way, the fucking guy on the bike is standing on the sidewalk, and he's sitting there with his arms crossed, just like smugly smiling at us because he's fucking lying.
Why didn't you give him some shit?
I
hate fucking bike riders. I hate them. Even the little kids that are riding bikes, I hate.
They're entitled.
I don't think they should be able to.
Rights.
I don't even think they should be able to ride bikes in a bike park. That's how bad I am. Hey, Jim in Florida, Jim.
Hey, Ronnie. I don't know if this constitutes as a spy report, but
spy report.
The FAA just announced. I've seen this on ABC's online feed that the FAA has declared a no-fly zone over Midtown Manhattan until the day after the inauguration, and they're not sure how this is going to affect air traffic at the local New York airports.
Well, I know when you're going into LaGuardia, you go right over Central Park.
Yeah.
You kind of come down the Hudson and then bank that left.
But it's such a slim little island. It seems like we could avoid it anyway. Like, there's no reason to go over.
Well, I don't think you want to. I don't think if you're like coming down, you want to go over the East River. The bank will be too hard. You have planes falling into Queens. But here's the funny part: because of all the unrest last night, all I heard was helicopters all night long. There was helicopters over Midtown constantly.
Well, I guess they're not going to have the riot control that they need then.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to pull it off, but yeah, for the President of the United States to be in the Trump Tower, it is more or less a sitting duck situation because he's too high up in a building that the public can walk into. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's kind of like, will he stay here until the inauguration, you think?
I don't know. He's stayed here every night up to this point. He's got a place in Florida, though. That's very nice. You know, he could use that.
Maybe he could spread out down there a little bit. Just because.
But also, that place that he lives in there is also a country club. So I don't know whether are they crazy about that kind of security. The security job that you go through is intense. And it takes a lot of money to shut down all the streets in New York City for a president, and it causes a lot of things. You know, it's not like most places. So, I don't know, it could start to be a little costly at the same time. Hey, Jack in D.C.
Hey, $1 million, y'all.
Million.
Yeah, going back a couple of topics ago, the intro credits, intro song to the first season of True Detective was.
That was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, thanks. We'll check this out. Started halfway through, Chris. All right, turn it down. I found it a little cheesy. Now go to season 2 I really like the high above the LA fucking look.
Yeah, I remember the look, but I can't remember the song. Is it the same song?
Yeah, let's listen. Are they doing a season 3 of this?
Not announced yet. Doesn't look like it.
I'd love to see him do it in Juneau, Alaska. You know what I mean? Just take it way
That's
out.
a good idea.
Yeah, make it a real weird Fargo type scene.
Now, these intros reminded me of the True Blood intro, which obviously
started it all. Did that start all that?
I think that honestly, that style came from the Dexter one.
Really?
You remember the Dexter one? I mean,
all right, let's go to True Blood first, and then we'll go to Dexter.
All right, this is True Blood.
All right. Yeah, True Blood completely ripped this off in terms of the type of music and then the things.
And then the visuals are really similar.
Yeah.
And I like the like this part right here. I think it's pretty similar to the Dexter one, which I think a lot of shows kind of ripped off that style.
Go to Dexter first, but I'm going to take you to one that I think is even pre all this.
And this is Dexter.
Oh, I forgot how cool. But it actually used to make me a little disgusted.
Yeah.
The close-up pictures of stuff.
Like the visuals of this, I think, is what a lot of people
rip off.
Yeah, started to recreate that same thing. Like that kind of looks like the...
Go to The Sopranos. The Sopranos, who started this kind of golden age of TV that they keep calling it. I find that less and less true every year.
Now, every time I hear the HBO intro... I think of this song. Like, if I hear the intro, I think of the intro of The Sopranos. Like that.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Now, even look at those visuals of coming through the tunnel. That's kind of the beginning of it, right?
Yeah, and this was probably the first, like, we're going to have, like, a really cool intro.
Yeah, we're going to have
it's going to seem like a cool movie as opposed to just, like, a TV show. And this song is fucking great. Tom Sharpling's favorite song.
Of all time?
No. I was teasing him about it because he was saying it was annoying once when I was on his show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How do you hate this song?
And sending him best wishes because he was in a really rough car accident the other day, and he's doing all right, but he was like a little shaken up.
Is that right?
But he's sound.
Sound, mind, and body?
Yes, he's doing all right, but it was like, I spoke to him last night, and it was a pretty sketchy one. So
was it a one-car accident?
Yeah, it was a one-car situation.
Was he
was able... No, doing a bit of bosun, has he? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine.
Well, let me just say this. Sometimes when you're in an accident like that, it causes that psychic fucking break of, holy shit, life is fragile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That takes you a little while to get back to the ignorance of everyday life.
Yeah. That's what I was telling him. Like, you know, I have been involved in things in my life where it's like, yeah, you're physically okay. And you're just like, oh, I'm cool. And then like 3 days later, you're like, why am I not okay?
Because you realize that life is fragile.
Yes.
A month ago, I'm walking to work, right? And I'm on 57th Street. And they had been trying to put a piano up into the penthouse of this house. They were knocking the window out. The workmen had let go of it. A piano comes down 53 stories and smashes 10 feet in front of me. And I never break stride. I just keep walking. Whoa. And I I just lit a cigar.
He's cool.
Yeah. And I go like this. I guess the Elton John show's canceled then. Thanks. Looks like Billy Joel won't be playing tonight. But no, I know exactly how he feels.
Yeah.
So is he exactly like I never want to be out on the road again?
No, he's already been on the road because he totaled his car.
You got to do it. You got to do it right away.
And he got in a rental car and he was like, didn't feel great, but he did
exactly. Well, Chris Gethard opens his one-man show with a car accident where he's just sitting after realizing, That's why in the backseat of my car. I have the Jaws of Death. I'm always ready.
You have it in your car?
I'm not waiting for them. I'm gonna get my own Jaws out.
By the way, I think it's the Jaws of Life. I don't think you want Jaws of Death. That would be really scary.
No. Jaws of Death is actually a great white shark. Eric, in old Kentucky.
Hey, I don't remember the name of the show, but there was that Robert Durst documentary that they did, the miniseries recently. I loved it. I thought it was great. But at the opening, at the beginning, every time I thought the guy was trying to get in on the True Blood type opening and everything. It just didn't fit. It felt like it was a
let me check it out.
Drama type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
And I thought the same thing. We need a mixtape of this of just openings to cable shows. Glenn, what's up?
I had to watch every time was Boardwalk Empire. I think it was a cut up of Brian Jonestown Massacre. Awesome intro.
I'll tell you my problem with this. I don't like music that wouldn't have existed at the time that the thing is taking place. It always bugs me. Even like a Gladiator movie or something. I'm like, shouldn't we be hearing...
What about that Heath Ledger movie? Some sort of Knight's Tale?
Well, that was a little... You just made that shit up. All right, you going to play it?
This is Boardwalk.
But it is a good song.
I never really... I used to hate this opening.
Yeah, it was a strange choice. I'm like, it doesn't visually look like the show.
No,
it's like this weird Magritte kind of look of him standing against the sky and the water.
Yeah, you're right. Nothing about this matched the show at all. Daryl, you're on the air. How are you, buddy?
Hey, buddies. Sons of Anarchy, they have an astounding soundtrack, and just the opening song is just wicked.
I've never watched this show. Never once.
I have not seen it either.
I know people watched it, and I've seen the... Man, these are all the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They all look the same. Knife.
But they're all the same. You can interchange any of these shows.
Gotta look this life.
Paul, California.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
That theme song for Ari Shaffir's This Is Not Happening, I just can't get it out of my head. I've been listening to it for a couple weeks since they started that show again. It's amazing. Run the Jewels by Run the Jewels.
Let's play it here. And this is Ari, of course, on the soundtrack himself. Pretty cool.
Gee, that's a really cool intro.
Yeah. Steve, Michigan.
Yeah, the opening song for Black Sails, the pirate show.
Black Sails, I think, is on the Stars network.
Yes, Stars.
I've never seen.
I tried to give it a watch. Didn't get into it.
Pirates.
But similar cuts, similar kind of setup to the intro.
The visuals are the same. Eric, Louisiana.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, one of my favorite underrated shows was Damages. That Glenn Close show on FX.
Did very, very well for a number of years. For some reason, was one I didn't fall into. But let's take a listen. See, I'm going to go old school here. I really like his song that explains the show up to that point. I really wish they would get back into that. John, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? I used to love the beginning of The Wire, and every subsequent season they did like a different rendition of it, but I thought the best was season 1 of The Wire. Very bluesy.
Now, is The Wire on Netflix? Could I just binge it?
I think it's on
Amazon.
Know.
HBO.
It's on HBO Go and Amazon Prime, I believe it's on.
Yeah.
Can I just binge the whole thing on HBO? I don't want
you can
Amazon.
You can binge the whole thing on HBO.
Okay.
I might do that too, because I've never watched it either.
Let's do it at the same time. Let's get it.
Great show.
Yeah, I hear that from people. I hear it's better than Breaking Bad and Sopranos. It always finishes number 1, and then they'll do Sopranos and Breaking Bad number 2 and 3, depending on which you're at.
If you walk through the garden, if better watch your back.
This sounds like, well, we're moving on to the east side. I'm talking Hard Rock Johnny and his famous pants. Johnny, congratulations on the Trump win. What are you up to today, buddy?
You know, planning a big event.
Oh, I can't wait for it.
Just talk. We literally just a second ago. People would have gotten a little detail of what was happening for dessert at our big dinner. You know, dessert's always part of the meal.
Ooh, exciting.
That is exciting.
Is Johnny Go-Go going to let you do dessert, or what do you?
He's not even coming here. That guy. I'm not letting him in.
Johnny.
Not allowed in. Go out.
Johnny.
Yeah.
What can we do for you today, buddy?
I enjoyed the opening sequence of, and it's kind of a Sopranos offshoot, but Lilyhammer.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one. Now, what does that run on for people, too?
Netflix. That was Netflix, yeah.
That's straight Netflix show.
I never saw it.
And maybe one of the first big Netflix show. Well, here's what it is.
It was great.
Miami Steve, the man that you call Little Steve in Van Sant.
Yes.
I still call him Miami Steve. Hates the cold weather. Hates the cold weather, so we call him Miami Steve. So he is part of like the New York mob. He's out in New York. He turns state's evidence, whatever. So they put him over Lilyhammer. And what's he do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fish out of water. Maybe he's going to start and put some things together. So here's the opening to the show.
It's actually the first original show Netflix ever had.
Yep.
Okay. We hear the intro. And now he's into that. But there was a short period, a little rock cul-de-sac, where they tried to put big band and R&B together somehow. Like a Town Without Pity type sound, you know? But which is also kind of mixed in with This Town is a Make You Town. There's this but, you know, you're friends with Little Steven, right, Johnny?
I am correct.
What do you call him? You call him Little? You call him Steve? What do you call him?
I call him Steven.
How about Stevesy?
Do yourself a favor.
Sometimes I call him Steve-O.
Do yourself a favor, call him Miami Steve.
No, he doesn't like that. I tried it once.
I could sit and talk to that man for 24 straight hours because he's literally a rock and roll encyclopedia.
He really does know more than just about most people with music.
I'd say that he knows more than most music departments.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he could just sit and talk about it constantly and forever.
I don't know if you'd want to do that, though. Trust me. I've done it. It gets painful.
I love it.
Painful, I tell you. He's very painful at times. He's a very demanding individual.
All right. You know what, Johnny? If you just delivered, nobody have to tell you time and time again.
I was trying to get a pair of his famous pants once. He wouldn't give them to me.
You know, we're looking for a fellow that night. Have you worked his schedule out?
Working on it.
If not, we got to replace him.
Forever?
Well, we already replaced him forever. I meant just for that night. Yeah, we got a house cat, and we had the same fucking amount of work done. All right, Johnny.
Cookie.
You know, I don't. I take care. Now, one of my favorite shows, and it had my, favorite opening, has all but been forgotten. That was a show out of Brooklyn, New York. Maybe the first hipster show. A little show called Bored to Death.
Oh, yeah. That intro was really cool.
Also, I believe the lead character sung the song, which is another thing that I love. I love when this song is sung by the lead character.
Like a Frasier situation.
Exactly.
Just Ellen and Scramble.
My name is Frasier. All right, play this. All right, this also, stop it for a second. This gives another thing. I love when there's an animated opening, and I believe the Pink Panther started that. Chris, I'm looking around at the clock on the wall. Should we take a break here?
Yeah, we should take a break.
Okay. After that, I want you to start producing me, all right?
Okay.
Bennington Show. That sounds like one of those openings we were talking about.
It does.
When you came in. Did I tell you what I'm having tonight, Blue Apron style?
No.
Vietnamese meatballs.
That sounds good. I haven't done that one yet.
Takes me all the way back, you know?
Sure.
All the way back.
Were you in the ship?
Man in the black pajamas. We're the opponent, dude. I used to see him on TV when I was a little kid. You know, it was always funny. Like, I was a little kid during the Vietnam War, and, you know, me and my friends would play war. We never played Vietnam. We always played World War II.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
There was a current war.
I know. Believe me. I wonder, like, do little kids even play Army these days, and do they play Afghanistan? You know, they play ISIS?
I'm sure boys still play
I don't think so.
Army.
I think that they have video games to play.
We were really into Cowboys and Indians. That was like a pretty common one.
Yeah, us too.
But I don't think I ever played war, really. I mean, maybe...
You were a girl, though.
Yeah.
Vito, did you play war when you were a little kid?
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm realizing now I played Mafia a lot.
I can understand that being the West Side. You know what I mean? What about you, Chris?
Played Army, and it was a Namish, because I always remember having a bandana around my head. That was more of a Nam thing than a World War II thing.
That's interesting.
Girls play like a lot of stuff like, what if we owned a bake shop? Or like, let's pretend that we are in college. Like,
what?
Yeah. There was like a lot of that.
I do remember playing store a couple times with my girl cousins.
Yeah.
And you had to come in and say...
Like what you needed.
And I was very bored doing that. I was like, I don't know, just give me this, looks like a book you have here. And is that a doll head next to it? Give me that. And I mean, I tried to go along. But my heart wasn't in it. Well, I love these girls. You know, they were a lot of fun to hang out with. They were like, let's play store. I don't know. Can I be the detective? Can I be the store dick running around looking for shoplifters? I don't know what to do in this game.
What kind of guns are in this game?
Yeah. Is this a gun shop that we're running? Because that would be a lot of fun. Now, Tommy gun you didn't have in Vietnam, I hope.
No. It was more the M16, I guess.
Good line. They always use the term M16. M16 was the gun.
My brain.
Yeah. Then later the Uzi. Remember, everybody had to talk about Uzi.
I think the Tommy gun was in Vito's game that he used to play.
Tommy gun would have been 1920s.
We played all forms of them because my uncles are super, so we had like the desk downstairs in the office.
Yeah.
So it really worked out well for us.
So you would pretend that you're in the mafia.
Yeah.
And what would you be running there on the West Side? Would you be cigarettes? What were you doing?
Well,
gambling and prostitution?
So like it was just anything we saw on TV. So it would just be like, how are the businesses doing? Like we didn't know like
what the businesses were.
Yeah, we didn't know what the businesses were, but it would be like my cousin was the mob boss, and I would be at the door. I would be the door guy.
Yeah. So really, not much different than your life is now.
No,
you're always a doorman, no matter what you're doing. I do. You used to pat each other down. Did you play the Five Families?
No, we had our one family that we...
Were you the Teflon Don?
No,
John Gotti?
He was the Teflon Don.
But he was John Gotti?
Yeah, that was because that was big in the news at the time.
Sure.
For some reason, we took it very hard when he got arrested as children.
A lot of the Italian people did, and a lot of the Italian people would be on TV going, he didn't do anything. I'm trying to think. I saw it's on Netflix, and it's the history of the mafia in America. And the mob in the 1960s and late 60s, early 70s, they tried to throw like days that were like, they had like the Italian American League, and they were like, tried to celebrate Italian culture. The mob. And they were in fucking Columbus Circle, right, with this day celebrating Italian American culture. And one of the fucking guys was assassinated. He was assassinated in front of everybody.
Jesus.
Like, hey, they say that we're gangsters, and then a fucking guy just comes up from another gang and clips him. Fucking crazy.
Definitely seems like they should have been in your game.
I don't don't know if anybody in the Italian community ever turned on the mafia. They loved them. It looks like our guests are here, Chris.
Yes, they are.
Bring it straight down. Why don't you announce them?
Nick Kroll and John Mulaney are about to come in studio. You can see Oh Hello on Broadway now.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Jumped up,
Now through January 8th at the Lyceum Theater in New York City. Go to ohhelloonbroadway.com for tickets.
Too Much Tuna. Let's bring them in. Bring the boys into a little Steely Dan. Seems fitting. How you guys doing?
Great. Happy to hear Steely Dan as John drinks water and tries to talk.
I just was taking a minute. There's a lump in my throat every time I hear Steely Dan. Anything from Pretzel Logic.
Is that done ironically, or do you guys really like Steely Dan?
It's not done ironically. I've seen them every year at the Beacon since I moved to New York. The only show they could have overlapped with our Broadway schedule this year, that was our opening night, which was pretty devastating. So I missed this run at the Beacon.
Have you met Donald Fagen?
I've never met Donald Fagen.
We're trying to get him to at least come to the show, if not do it.
He should do it.
Have you met Donald Fagen?
I've had him on 2 or 3 times.
Yeah?
And he's everything that you want him to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's cool, and he's strange, and he's jazz, and he's Jewish, and it's like, he's very hard to explain, and sometimes he's just like, I don't know if I'm into talking about that thing that you just asked.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yes. No, when we started doing Oh Hello, the song that we had for our first videos that we made, years ago was Peg. Peg was the song.
Right.
And almost since then, it's always just been like, we don't exactly know how to explain. Like, once you get beyond the idea of it's like, they're obsessed with Alan Alda, they're Upper West Side,
Right.
they're Turtleneck Blazer, NPR guys, but then it's like, it's Steely Dan.
Yeah. These are the guys that yelled at me at Steely Dan shows or Donald Fagen solo shows for standing up and dancing too much. Because they wanted to sit,
They want people to sit. Now, did you see the Dukes of September show when he toured?
I missed that, no.
That was amazing because they did their solo stuff.
That was with Michael?
Yeah, Michael and the other from Silk Degrees.
Boz Scaggs.
And they're all great singers, and they're all doing their hits. And then they did, like, soul songs from the 60s that they dug. And it was like, fuck, these guys are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think for us, it's the combo of, so if you ask ironically or not enjoying Steely Dan, it's genuine. I think both of us really like Steely Dan, but also like that they're difficult men.
Yes.
And so our guys are George and Gil are difficult men.
Yeah.
And so there's a feeling that Fagen and Becker have that are like, we're smarter than you, that we're funnier than you, we're not going to placate you ever. And I think George and Gil aspire to be
Donald and Walter.
That's really great. What's really funny is that you get to see them, but when they were at their peak making music, they just didn't tour at all.
Yeah, the studio band.
Yeah, they're just like, no,
or it wasn't a band. It was Donald and Walter and a lot of different musicians.
And unbelievable players, though, right? Every time that you see those guys, just phenomenal players. But this
is the bridge, right?
Yeah.
We're on Sirius. We're on the bridge right now.
The bridge, by the way, you could hear 6 to 7 Steely Dan songs an hour.
And Yacht Rock, too, on 18. It's not as less Steely Dan, but more of
Is Rock still going?
No, that was a summer, but they have it if you're on the computer, but not in the car.
Yeah, or they had it on 18 for a while. They had it as a channel recently over the summer. Maybe it's like they put it on over the summer when everybody wants
but they thought,
to do coke and get mellow.
Yeah, they thought that they were doing that ironically, and I fucking loved it all summer.
Yeah.
Like, anytime, that's the music, whenever I'm doing car trips, like weekend car trip, I'm just like a little too locked into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is there's one song that gets played. It's not it's on anyway, we don't need to get into it, but I'm like, that's the fourth time I've heard this song. It's the song about the guy who's like getting bored in his marriage, so he gets it on like
Pina Colada.
Pina Colada.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That song is played like 3 or 4 times an hour on Yacht Rock.
That might be my least favorite song
of all time. The Pina Colada?
Yeah, that song really bugs the shit out of me.
I'll tell you something on this. This was a musical highlight for me. One time I saw Merv Griffin doing that song, and it was everything pulled together.
Like him playing it?
Yes, he was singing it on his show.
Yeah.
But it got to that certain point, and he just did this little thing with his hands where he went, and me and my old lady, and I go, oh, this is it. This is exactly what I want to be.
really like that in the end, though. Nobody's upset about the almost infidelities.
No,
The
well,
end
they're
of the-
both.
you know.
They're both
like, oh,
hey, that
They
was
laugh
you.
it off.
70s.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Tea party time.
Yeah, it was a different
of
time.
Tea party.
It was a lot of
Well,
fun.
Rupert Holmes is a lot like our characters in that he was a playwright who wrote a hit song. As you'll see in our show, we did.
Well,
We didn't.
you're so now you guys played this here off Broadway, so you do it up in Montreal, and now on Broadway. Now it seems like it's gotten so big, the sets and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we have like world class people working on it.
Yeah.
We've always had an amazing crew, but now we have a set designer named Scott Pask, let alone an incredible director named Alex Timbers. And so we scaled the show up to Broadway, and George and Gil, being people that feel comfortable in any room, also scaled up to Broadway.
But it felt like if you're going to go to Broadway, and pay, people are going to have to pay that ticket price, that you have to, make the show worthwhile and feel like it's grown in scope and scale.
It can't
And
be two folding
the set
chairs.
is fantastic
The set is
too.
beautiful.
It's really, really great.
And there's
And
so
the
many
lighting
jokes.
is
The
gorgeous.
lighting is great, and we get so many jokes out of the set, which was so wonderful. Because until then, we did the show off Broadway at the Cherry Lane last year and shared our set with Colin Quinn, who was doing his show, and so he had a pre-existing set, so we had to sort of work within that, and we threw that show together in like a couple weeks less when we came to New York, and then when we toured it, we just had a backdrop because we were traveling place to place. And so when we were going to Broadway, we all of a sudden could just take the time and actually build it and then create jokes just specifically
It's like a
for it.
playground. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, when you, obviously you started this as kind of a cult thing. When it's Broadway, it's more mass appeal, and I imagine there's some people who
don't get it.
Well, yes, I mean they come here and they're just to see a Broadway play.
We've been fortunate though in that I think, well, first off, some cults are big.
Yeah,
you know?
oh yeah, I'm in one, the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
major.
So we've had a nice mix of people that know us from Kroll Show on Comedy Central and comedy stuff, and now that we see a lot of Broadway fans. Of just Broadway, coming to the show, possibly close to the age of our characters, and laughing their asses off. It's the most gratifying.
Well,
And go ahead. We were talking to the woman who runs the theater, the Lyceum Theater, where we're doing the show, and she said to you, John, like we've had no.
Yeah, we were hanging out the other night. She said, we've had no walkouts,
which for a Broadway show is crazy, especially for one where we say some pretty. Awful things on stage. We say things that could be taken as very...
And people walk out of shows just because they go, not for me.
Yeah.
Not just because of politically incorrect stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because they're here in New York for a week, and they feel like they're missing stuff, no matter what they're doing.
Right. And I do
They're
think for the
missing
most part...
they're like, I didn't know it was going to just all be ABBA. Can I have my...
But I would say also when I saw it and it was a fantastically funny show, I thought that it was the kind of show that real New Yorkers would go to a Broadway show.
Yeah,
I mean,
we were very
typically-
conscious of that.
Yeah, like typically New Yorkers who like theater end up going to more off-Broadway or off-Broadway type
We
shows.
have so many jokes that are... I mean, the goal, I think, consciously or unconsciously, was to write a show with so many goddamn jokes that even if every joke's not for you, you're still getting more jokes for you than you would normally get. So it's like, if you're a super big theater geek, you're getting a ton of theater and Broadway jokes. If you're just a comedy fan who likes hard jokes, you're getting a lot of hard jokes. If you're your average tourist, there's going to be enough stuff about that's generally scoped that, because we toured the show also. So we went around the country. So we went to like Chicago, DC, Montreal, San Francisco, Boston. And so we got a sense of what, even though it's a very specific New York show, like what could work
And also,
on a broader scale.
People like specificity even if they don't know what it means. Like growing up in Chicago, I remember listening to Woody Allen stand up and he said his mother overdosed on mahjong tiles. And I had no idea what that meant, but I laughed because I knew it was funny.
Right, you know it had to be there. But I
didn't know that about him.
Well, I think it was just a joke. Yeah. I don't know Woody personally, but he jokes. But I had talked about this because you guys did some Times Square stuff that I thought was amazing. But I talked with Brian Regan once when he said about when everyone thinks there's something mined out of a situation, to go back in and find the joke. And you did stuff with gentrification of Times Square that I'm like, oh man, everybody missed that shit. And you guys went back and found some specific stuff that was just killer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We have it's I think both John and I have grown. We've been friends since college and did improv together, and I think both of us have always enjoyed the other one's weird specifics that they can find in moments and times. And there's a moment in the show where the two of us are on the floor ordering stuff from our intern Ravi to go out and get for us, and it's just like specifics, foods or otherwise in New York.
Get me a tall boy of Bud Light from a Metro North train.
And so there are all those jokes that I think the two of us, I think audiences seem to like that moment because it's like, oh, it's just these two guys on the floor sort of having fun, making each other laugh. But I think it's really, at least for me, like I just love John's eye for specificity.
Yeah.
And I, Nick's.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing that now with you've been writing the documentary now stuff, and that stuff is about finding
we get some deep cuts there, too.
Yeah. You find something so tight inside one documentary that you probably would have needed to see to get some of those jokes.
My favorite thing is people who haven't seen the original and said, I never saw that. I never saw Swimming to Cambodia, but whatever that was hilarious. That means a lot. You know?
By the way, I saw Swimming to Cambodia like 15 times. I remember when that happened, and I remember always the beginning of it, him walking down the street.
Around,
and I'm like,
Tribeca.
Yeah, and I'm like, that would be my dream. You live in New York, you walk to do this thing. You know, I don't know why that thing that you guys are doing right now is more New York to me than anything else.
I'm trying to walk to the show every day. And I'm in like, you know, the sort of Union Square-ish area.
Yeah.
And I try to walk to the theater every day, and there's something incredibly gratifying about it. Just living in New York, walking to this show, and then doing this show that's very specifically New York, and allowing like the things that you see on the way to inform what happens on stage that night. It's really fun.
Yeah, that to me is the creative thing, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the original dream that people have had for probably 100 years, that you're running lines, walking to the theater, thinking to yourself. And then what do you do after the show? You exhausted, or are you guys hanging
both exhausted, for myself, pretty keyed up too, because you know, it's about an hour 40. It's long, but we both done long stand-up shows, so we're used to that. And I think we walk off and we certainly are dripping sweat, but we go out to dinner. It's a real showbiz life that I've wanted since I was about 4 years old. You know, like Ricky Ricardo, like spend all day in your apartment, then go do the show at night and go out.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, the other side of that, too, is writing in New York, too, has that Dick Van Dyke thing. I remember seeing those reruns when I was a kid, and I'm like, wait, guys actually do that. They sit in a room and they think of jokes and they order Chinese food. Amazing.
Writers' rooms were always like fascinating to me when, like through about the time that I was like middle school or high school, where I like realized that was a thing. I always romanticized that. And then finding out, of course, that like that environment is usually horribly stressful for people, and like some people have just terrible anxiety doing it.
But I think
they did back then too.
Yeah, sure.
They just,
and it gets romanticized, but it's like, I think for John and I, like, we just walked up here and and in a way it's like you being able to talk and walk ends up becoming, to me, the most effective way to be writing, especially with John. It's just like we just walk around the city and talk about stuff and figure it out, and then
often talk as our characters, as we have as my wife and our friends will attest, we do offstage for the past 10 years.
10 years.
Full phone calls.
Full phone calls. And where's Jeffrey Gurian? Does he know he's not here?
This is
Jeffrey invited us. I think it was 9,007 times.
First of all, do you know how much he talks about you guys?
Yes.
Do you know? Does he know how much we talk about him?
No, we can't let him know. I feel like we didn't ask Jeffrey to come into that, because like when there was other times that you guys were supposed to come in, we're like, maybe we'll hide Jeffrey in the room. But what we decided to do was
hide him behind what? A cactus with his hair shape?
You were the reason, though, that he's this upset, because you gave him that jacket.
I know.
You gave him that jacket.
The Gurian Angels jacket.
Yeah.
The Guardian Angels, and then he showed up at the show with Curtis Lewa, who was he was Curtis's dentist for 30 years.
He was his violence dentist in the 80s.
So How did you guys hook up? With
Everyone
Jeffrey?
in comedy knows Jeffrey Gurian.
Jeffrey Gurian knows every single person in comedy.
But when I first got to talking to him at festivals, he was just the sweetest, coolest guy, and gave both of us very nice compliments when we were starting out.
But yeah, I had seen him in Montreal, and I was immediate, as we all are. You see him, and you're like, "Who is that man?" And then you talk to him, and he's such a sweet guy. And I said, "John, there's a guy who I really think you would like." And then when we started doing Oh Hello, we were like, I don't know when, if and when, but you fit in the Oh Hello world. Like, you just are a guy who would know our guys.
Yeah.
And so when we took it to Comedy Central to do the sketch show, we were thinking, we did the Too Much Tuna, and we pranked Jeffrey. Was like, I think
the first one
to get pranked. Because I think it was a nice transition where you're like, oh, this guy could be friends with George and Gil, but also is such a specific individual. And
he's the Forrest Gump of New York. I mean, he knows everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Jeffrey.
Yeah. And so, like, there's nothing I love more than there's a picture of Paul Schaefer and Richard Belzer and Jeffrey Gurian holding a picture of Paul Schaefer, Richard Belzer, and Jeffrey Gurian holding a picture of Paul Schaefer, Richard Belzer, and Jeffrey Gurian. And then he was, when we did the Off-Broadway run, we did our press conference, and we wanted Jeffrey and the Gurian Angels to be our security. He's our Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
Well, he loves you guys and then is frantically worried that something will happen that he won't be part of.
Yes.
So he stays at a consistent thing of anxiety. But you guys should go over and see his apartment sometime.
Yes.
Because it's everything that you want it to be.
Is it?
It's pictures of everyone in comedy on every square inch of his wall of this white apartment with a white piano. And then, like,
why would he want white surfaces?
Because then he can't find the Coke. But no more.
Yes.
No more. Now he's done film.
Yeah.
But he lives this very surreal.
Yeah.
I mean,
how did you connect to him?
Same exact way of everything I went to. He was there, and we were like, oh, Jeffrey could be like, is like the center of this thing. And I really think of people in comedy of how they think of Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Whether they think of him as this adoring guy, or whether they're annoyed with him.
No, everyone loves Jeffrey. I mean, you go to comedy events where people like Jon Stewart or anyone, people are trying to move past a press line.
Yeah,
because they're no fun, and you just watch everyone stop for Jeffrey to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was at the Strip, he was everywhere.
Yeah. Yep, and we were on Marin and talked to him about it. And it's just everybody knows him. He's a connecting point if you meet someone new in comedy, like that they know Jeffrey.
But you're right, he knows the kids. But like he wrote jokes for the old Catskills.
Well,
guys.
that's the other thing is he's a fan of comedy and a joke writer. Yeah,
yeah. So I've met some of the really old dudes that he's brought in, and they're like, these fucking stories are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And there was like, and that's when I met Jeffrey. And they would fly him out to different things. And this has been going on like he was a vampire. Like it's been going on for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch City Lights, the Chaplin film, you see Jeffrey in the background trying to pick up a woman.
Is that Jeffrey in his house? Yeah, there he is.
Oh yeah, no, I love that picture. It's a gorgeous shot. Is
that was John Lennon.
Is that a vase of different colored balls?
It looks like a vase of maybe Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Very classy.
He does it with balloons too. He'll have these half deflated balloons, and they're everywhere.
Half deflated.
Yeah, they're just half deflated. Then he opens up his oven, and they're in a pot because he won't use his oven, of course, because he's a New Yorker. He has that on his stove. And then, he also has a healing room. So if you want to go
Have you been to the healing room?
I'm not taking my pants off there, but that's some of his walls.
I love that it's just a comedy club wall.
It's a comic strip. It really is.
Yeah.
It's plenty of that.
With the deflated balloons on the floor there.
Yeah. They're just all around.
2 quick Jeffrey Gurian stories.
Yeah.
I'm backstage at the Strip. I need to write my set list out. Jeff is there. I did not plan on running into him. He was just dropping by the club.
Yeah.
I said, Jeffrey, do you have a pen? He goes, yeah, I got a pen. He reaches in his jacket. He pulls out a 4-foot-long novelty pen. And I hardest I've ever laughed at the dumbest joke in the world. I go, "You carry that around all day?" He goes, "Yeah, in case anyone asks for a pen." He said in the 70s, people called money bread. So I would always keep bread in my pockets. I said, "You did it all day?" He goes, "Yeah, I'd have bread in my pockets all day. And if someone asked for some bread, I'd hand him a slice."
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. I like anyone who's a prop comic off stage.
Yeah,
Not
no,
so
who
much
needs it
on
on
stage.
And by the way, many nights people probably don't ask for a pen, and he goes home and he takes it out and puts it on his bedside table.
Yeah.
The patience of that
Yeah.
to just be like, this is gonna
Well,
gonna
but
pay
that's
off.
one of the things with Jeffrey is the patience and persistence that he has. That is just he doesn't abate. You know?
No, he loves comedy.
He loves comedy. He loves the
Great.
people in the comedy world, and he's one of the guys who we just like. It's one of the most gratifying things doing these guys as long as we've been doing them.
Yeah.
And knowing Jeffrey and always wanting to having had him be a part of it, and it's one of the great joys to see and be a part of it.
Are you guys ever going to put him on stage? Maybe the last night. Don't let it happen.
We're going to have him do the show himself, play both characters.
But it was really fun to have him do that press conference with us.
Yeah. Well, he does he's gigantic fans and brings you guys up constantly.
Yes.
We love you, Jeffrey.
We love you, Jeffrey.
Wherever you go. But he also, there's a certain amount of anxiousness of, will I get to go backstage? Will I get to see them for the 2000th time?
Yes, and there's a certain amount of anxiousness with us just not giving him a straight answer about that.
Makes it too easy.
It's just like we all have boundaries. We all need boundaries.
Sure.
Look, if you come to Oh Hello looking like Jeffrey Gurian, they're probably going to know you belong backstage.
Yes, that's the truth. But no, Jeffrey is always allowed backstage.
Now, I've also heard that when you bring people on for the Too Much Tuna, you don't really prep them
Correct.
too much.
No, we don't at all. We have a conversation. I mean, we have a conversation with.
We have to let them know about one special effect, lest they get hurt.
Right.
But,
and so people come back, and like our guest last night was Geraldo. And which was amazing to have the night after the election, because he's known Trump for 40 years. Before the but we've had a crazy group of people come in so far. Like in the last couple of weeks, like Tina Fey did it, Stephen Colbert did it,
Conan O'Brien, Whoopi Goldberg,
Cuba Gooding Jr. So all types of Paul Schaefer did it.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Paul.
he was great. It's great. It's great to have like real great comedians and also just thinkers and New York personalities.
New York people.
And so we have a conversation backstage, just a general, like, let's either we don't know each other or we're friends and let's just shoot the shit. And then we basically tell them the one or two things they need to know, but then that's it. There's no sort of like, sometimes stuff we've talked about backstage will come up because it's like, oh, that would be interesting. Let's not talk about more of that right now. Let's just talk about it on stage.
Well, it's very exciting for the audience to not know who's going to be coming out. The night I was there with Seth Meyers, which was I thought that was a great one. That was a really fun.
Yeah. And we also, certain nights we don't book people and we pull someone out of the audience, which for us is really fun. The audience at first is like, oh, I thought we were going to see a big celebrity, but then it turns out to be like 2 nights before the election, John pulled a guy out of the audience who turned out to be a cop, a New York cop who's from Ohio, and he was
Upper West Side cop.
An Upper West Side
in
cop.
Community outreach.
And so he's like, I deal with you guys all day long.
But it turns out that here's a guy whose job at the NYPD is to reach out to New Yorkers to ease tensions.
Yeah.
And it's like, you couldn't have booked that.
But people were like, was that a plant? And we're like, no, it just was who we chose. So in the end, it kind of, it's very exciting because you're like, ooh, it might be like Will Ferrell. But then it's like, no, it's Steve the Cop. And Steve the Cop is as interesting or more interesting than anyone that we could have brought. So it's that's the fun of the show. And sometimes
that's why I think using like the real local New York people.
Yeah, Robin Bird we had on.
Robin Bird is perfect, man. And like, I think that people, when Robin Bird passes away someday, people are going to go, well, that was the most amazing thing that ever happened, but you don't appreciate it on a daily basis.
When we were watching, I was with John and his wife and some friends watching the election the other night, and it was starting to get, crazy. And, we just like turned the channel to Robin Bert
over
to 35, and she was on, and it was like weirdly comforting to watch like 90s gay porn strippers.
Take questions from a bad speakerphone.
Of like George and Gills calling and be like, "Hi, can I talk to Andrew?
Would you
He's a
ever
hunk."
do a group scene?
And it was like super comforting.
I also like how you don't know whether it's the commercial or the show when you're watching Robin Bert. It's all the same
That's the goal.
type
That's
thing
the
that took
dream.
place. Well, congratulations to you guys. Seriously, I think it's
Thank you. It's been one of the pleasures of our lives to do this show, and we really hope people come see it.
Plug it away, Chris.
Nick Kroll and John Mulaney been in studio. You can see Oh Hello on Broadway now through January 8th at the Lyceum Theater in New York City. Go to ohhelloonbroadway.com for tickets.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next time.
Good to see you
soon.
That was fun. So we each were saying how embarrassing it is to know that Jeffrey keeps bringing us up to the other person.
You're just like, please don't say it too much where they associate us with constantly being bugged
by being harassed by it. I could have had Jeffrey here today. I just didn't tell him.
Aw. Well, but you never know. You never know. Like, just like if it would have been like too much.
I don't know. Everybody likes Jeffrey. Most people
And
like
you're
Jeffrey.
right. It's a good gauge of people.
Yeah.
Like either you get it or you don't.
Right.
I'm like, anybody who says a bad word about him, I'm like, you don't get it then.
I know.
I get it. I see the type. I see your type.
Yeah. You're mean.
If you can, if you can enjoy him for exactly what is so amazing and bizarre, and he's a character.
I only know one Vic Henley who I meant to say one person who's not fond of Jeffrey.
Yeah, and it's not mildly not fond. It seems like.
Well, here's the other thing. Vic is also the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's what's really strange. I mean, what a sweetheart that guy is. Doesn't make any sense.
But I was in the green room with Tom Rhodes, and Vic, old buddies with Tom, came back to see him. Jeffrey was there because Tom has been staying with Jeffrey. Jeffrey told me they had the best time ever. For whatever reason, the only person that stays over at Jeffrey's is Tom Rhodes. No one else in comedy.
I wonder why.
You don't want people staying at your house, and
Sure.
people don't want to stay at houses. But him and Tom go different. So he came in to say hi to Vic Henley. Came in to say hi to Tom, and Tom was so glad to see him. And I looked over, and Jeffrey was just like a chihuahua. He just had a nervous thing going. And I did my best to draw attention to it.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah. They just don't like each other.
Then everybody feels better.
Is this TB, you think?
I think it might be at this point.
Been going on for a while.
It should be over soon because I'm coughing up blood.
Oh, no.
That's not better.
Hear that.
That's worse.
That's John Anderson from Yes who gave that to me. I've been trying to smoke through it, which should help break it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Doc Holliday did, so.
Smoke is healing.
That's true. Smoke is healing.
Should we just start calling you Lunger?
If you want. I'm not going to tell you how to. You can't make up your own nickname. You just got to roll with it.
I've tried.
Why don't we break here? We'll be right back. Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington.
Thanks.
Paul Morrissey's in studio. He'll be performing at Zany's in Chicago December 14th through the 17th, and he's co-hosting Come to Papa with Tom Papa. And go to paulhasawebsite.com for all additional dates.
Great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you guys.
First of all, congratulations on Trump being elected. And second,
got what you wished for.
Oh my goodness!
The Come to Papa. Are you guys going to start doing that at the 92nd Street Y? Or?
He's gonna do one. That's like the live show where it's like sketches and stuff. We do one every Tuesday, just me and him, like from LA. But that one's the one that like Matt Damon's been on it. We've had some really cool people on it. Old fashioned like radio show kind of sketches.
Yeah, I heard about the last one that was done down at Village Underground. And people who saw it said it was a very peculiar, weird, kind of old school show.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it.
They have a lot of guys just do stand up and then they have some sketches and stuff. So I think the one this month is at the Comedy Underground like Wednesday. And then I think the one coming up is
But you don't do the outside shows with him?
I do, yeah, sometimes. It just depends if I'm there. I did the Halloween show with Matt Damon, so that was pretty cool. And everyone thought it wasn't really him because of the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Yeah.
Just somebody doing Matt Damon's voice.
That's really fucking funny, though. To anybody think, oh, that guy's good. The guy doing Matt Damon?
Really good.
Is amazing.
I mean, I know a guy who does it better than him, but it's still pretty good.
Well, you know, somebody just did an impression of me to me today. And it never seems like you.
Yeah, never. People have done me, and it just sounds like Norm Macdonald or something.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing, I'm Paul Morrissey.
Yeah.
What was that from?
I think it was for a segment possibly on Letterman.
It was, it was for Letterman.
But that was all direction. That was Chris in the booth saying,
right.
This is what we want. And
so then Chris gave you direction and then mocked you for said direction.
I was doing the Orson Welles thing. I'm not doing that. Please.
But Chris's impression stunk. I mean, I think I kind of
I'm Paul Morrissey.
No, that's not even. That
it
just
does
sounds
sound exactly like him.
It's good.
I don't know. I didn't know which one of those guys said it.
I'm worried now.
Yeah.
Can replace me.
Never.
On a
Never
CD.
going to happen. No. You could get replaced on Come to Papa, but you will never be replaced here.
What was that weird audio thing you were showing me where they can like fill in your voice now?
All right, so Adobe made Photoshop, which lets you alter images. Now they're working on something called Voco, where it generates your things you say in your own voice. Like if they could just type in I'm going to the store. And then it'll say, I'm going to the store in your voice, even if you didn't say it.
So, for example, it would be used in circumstances like you're cutting voice over something. Mm-hmm. Then you go back, the producer, the editor listens to it like, oh shit, you messed up a line, we dropped a line, whatever. This program takes your vocal, like the actual way you speak.
But people used to get paid to loop. Now they won't anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
You would get that would be part of being an actor is going back and looping, and now they're going to have a computer do it.
No.
But it's weird. I just did
voice.
Big J's show for CISO, and I just got flooded in fucking paperwork. I don't live in a world. I'm sure you do, Paul, where all this paperwork shows up and you're signing contracts for 15 minutes.
I still don't know how to watch CISO. What's it on?
I get it on my toaster, but I don't know if everybody does.
Cool.
I got, I have a modern toaster. But
it's smart.
They flooded me with paperwork. And my lawyer said, well, I'd like to change some stuff. And I said, I'm not. And I go, what is on there that we need to change? And they said the right to simulate your voice. And I'm like, if Big J wants to do an impression of me, let him do it. I don't care. So I guess this is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Well, good. If I can type in some funny things after I leave. That's weird, though.
Yeah.
Now, can we get this?
They're still developing it.
It's still working on it. Like, there was a prototype.
Jay and Christine have it.
But that's a right that they already have unless you sign a contract.
I did sign the contract that said they could simulate my voice. I mean, first of all, you don't even know how to find CISO, so I'm fine. You know what I mean? I could be on there going, hi, I'm Ron Bennington. I'm a pussy. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like they're doing it in their house. But the second I make people sign stuff when they come in here that I haven't read yet.
Right. And
I'll
I'm
say
sure
to people,
it's fun.
just sign this. And they'll go, what is this for? I go, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I heard the commercial, I'm Ron Bennington, vote for Trump. So I don't know if they recreated that or...
Was I right or was I right, everybody? Let's give me all the credit in the world.
Well, I mean, considering what's going on now, maybe he would have rethought putting his name on all of his buildings. Because then people know exactly where he is.
There he is.
Yeah. It is a very weird thing to think that he's president. It's going to take a while to sink in, particularly for the people of New York who were standing around his building last night chanting shit at him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how often do you think that Obama's the president? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't dawn on you most days.
Well, I think it might have some effect on people, but it's probably not going to be white men.
You are going to be winning so much. Not going to be. He's going to clean up the inner cities. He's bringing industry back.
Oh, that's good. I didn't think
everybody's going to be working. We're going to kill ISIS and get rid of them. We're going to waterboard. It's going to be great. It's going to be so great. You're going to get tired of winning. Trust me on this. Believe me. I know what I'm talking about.
But, yesterday for those people who found it to be upsetting, it was like one of those things where you're like, I know this feels bad right now, but I'm going to be okay tomorrow. Like, once you can get used to anything.
I had to play cheerleader. My girlfriend, I mean, that was one of her big things was her mom's an immigrant. She needed health care, and she moved to Iowa to work for Obama's first campaign. And, like, all that stuff, all the work that she did, she just felt like...
It's all going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that's what she felt. So to console those kind of people that really did like the groundwork and stuff is really hard. You know?
I've been consoling a lot of people over the past 48 hours.
I see that.
You know what? I forgot to take care of me.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's your time. It's your time up there.
It's always been my time, honey. That's the thing. Like, Obama didn't shut me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He welcomed me too.
I mean, it seemed just like people thought that he did for some reason, but I don't know why.
City people. Look, you guys don't understand how poor they are in the country. They don't have any jobs. They don't have any money.
Which jobs is he going to be hooking them up with, you think?
Great jobs.
What are they?
Industry. Back from Mexico.
Yeah.
They're getting industry jobs.
And Obamacare is the problem. It's not the insurance companies. They want to give the medical care away. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, they've been trying to give it away.
I didn't realize that.
It was the way he set it up that made everybody.
Obama wouldn't let them.
Trump care is going to be great.
I don't know. First day, I got pulled over last night. There's demonstrations in the city.
Yeah.
Paul Morrissey pulled over, going 35 in a 25. If you can believe there was an actual place in New Jersey.
Was it a school?
No, it was a neighborhood. That's what he said. We get a lot of complaints that people go too fast here.
So what, are you just driving around someone's neighborhood in Jersey? And
I did. I was doing
35 miles an hour.
I was doing Artie Lang's podcast until like 1:30 in the morning, and at that point you realize saying you did Artie Lang's podcast will either get you off this ticket or put you in jail. And I just wanted to stay in the middle and just get a regular ticket, I think.
Well, I'm sure you were pulled over because they watched you come out of Artie Lang's podcast.
He's on the move.
And he's like, this is one of the people that's trying to hurt Artie. One of the dark people around Artie.
Yeah, rental car, Florida plates. Paul Morrissey looking dangerous, even though there's...
when I used to come up north with Florida plates, I'd get pulled over all the fucking
I think that's
time.
what it was. It was a rental car, but as soon as they saw me, they still gave me the ticket.
They love thinking that someone's dumb enough to fucking drive up north just with a trunk filled with coke.
He must be nuts.
Yeah. He's up to something, that Florida fucker. And, I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and I'm playing Jimmy Buffett. And, I'm just fucking, I had a mirror sitting there that I was just fucking doing lines off of. I don't know.
You say, I'm just driving around waiting for a shipment. I'm not doing anything. I got to drive back down tomorrow.
Everybody in Florida has committed at least one strange murder, where you just take somebody out and kill them. The perfect crime, I like to call it.
Yeah. With the Everglades, it works out very well.
Yeah, because what doesn't, deteriorate, it gets eaten fast.
You've either dropped a body or picked up drugs that were dropped by a plane in the Everglades. Like either one.
Yeah, when they just drop that thing, there's like a little beacon on it. I'm like, that's my job. Here I go. One night, and I make all the money I need.
I wish it wasn't so gatory out here, though.
No. It's not so much the heat, it's the gators. That yeah. Swampy gators.
And gators on coke, too. That's not good.
Gator in the bush, she's calling my name. 38 Special actually put this term gators in their fucking hit song. Bringing up gators. As if it's something that you miss when you're up north.
What song is that?
Is it High Tides and... Is that it?
I'm looking.
High Tides and something.
No,
not 38 Special. It was Florida's Guitar Army. The same guys that did Grey Ghost. Who are they? They're the Outlaws.
Okay, I thought a 38 Special, I only have the greatest hits. I don't go deep in the catalog. So.
Can I tell you something about 38 Special? And I will use this quote as much as I can. Hold on loosely, but don't let go. These are the smartest things for your chick or any children that you have.
Yeah.
You hold on loosely.
It's perfect for water skiing, I think.
Yeah, well, yes. Don't hold on
It's
too
Florida
tight.
thing.
Vito, you got a cold now?
Yeah, I got the John Anderson now, too.
Jesus Christ.
It's terrible.
Wow, it's really spreading.
Don't let the interns know. They'll bring you hot tea that you won't be able to drink even now, 14 minutes after they deliver it.
Come on, Nick, and now you know not to make it too hot.
What's that song?
Green Grass and High Tides.
But does it have the gator in the bushes?
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the lyrics.
Yes, Chris, that's what you do. You just gave me the title I believed it was. Yeah.
He looks like one of the original DJs who played like an Elvis record. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Green Grass and Hot Tides.
You know who he looks like? Hello, baby. It's the Bopper.
Bopper.
You can play the Bopper. Chantilly lace. Got a pretty face.
That song is highly underrated, by the way. That's
Not by me.
I love
Not
that
by
song.
me. I have it down as the 7th best song of all time.
Well, that's 2 rated, then.
They said Bob Newhart came up with the one-sided phone conversation. It was
No,
Big Bopper.
it was Big
Will I
Bopper,
what?
Will I what?
Kudo, what?
Oh, baby, you know what I like.
Gators doesn't come up in the song.
All right, well, look in for just put lyrics. Gators in the bushes, she's calling my name.
And as you do that, play Chantilly Lace.
You do all these things?
Do it all, Chrissy.
Or just say it yourself. What?
Will I what?
There's 2 things that he's good at. Being the Trump cuck.
I'm a Trump cuck.
Yeah. Did you find the song?
Or here's Big Bopper first.
Don't forget Big Bopper.
It still holds up. He could do that with an iPhone like today. He could do that video.
Yeah.
I'm getting Molly Hatchet Gator Country.
That's the name of it?
Yeah, that's the Molly Hatchet song.
Gator in the
Country.
bush, calling my name.
There's a gator in the bush. He's calling my name.
Put up this song. And it's just called Gator Country?
It's called Gator Country.
All right, let me hear it.
It's actually the town I was born in.
No, by the way, this is all Southern rock.
And on the 8th day, God created Molly Hatchet.
So that's some Hatchet Boys. That's some Hatchet Boys bringing it to us. For some reason, always had Game of Thrones fucking covers.
I didn't know they had like a Dark Horse Lord.
No, they did all their albums were weird.
Yeah.
Fucking should have been a heavy metal album. No one knew why.
It still doesn't quite make sense. The name, I don't really know what it means.
None of it.
Like,
None of it makes sense.
What? This is Molly Hatchet?
Yeah, it's the Hatchet Boys.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
That's a fucking orc or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
they were the original Game of Thrones. They were the Game of Thrones of Southern rock.
these are like the covers that didn't make the Led Zeppelin ones. These are like the backups.
This is Conan the Barbarian, the band.
this looks nothing like the way they sound.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't see that and think.
You don't picture
Gator
those guys for
Bush.
listen to that. I think maybe their artwork came from the record company, not so much them.
He's just like mildly disappointed every time they
Looks
get
like
it
these
in.
are just nerds
We got
playing
it, boys.
nerds playing Dungeons and Dragons, but they're not. They're Southern boys.
Yeah, they're Southern boys. They'll kick your ass. Hey, Randy in Philly, what's up?
What's going on, Bennington?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what do y'all think about all them states legalizing weed?
Oh, awesome, huh? Just awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
When you think PA and New York, New Jersey, when you think they're going to jump on board so we can all get high legally?
Hopefully soon, man. You know, hopefully really soon.
Smoke some of that doobage.
I know one
You
thing.
getting high right now? What? You still getting high, Sammy?
No.
You big old centaur motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not getting high currently.
The only times Chris gets high twice a day. Daytime and nighttime.
When you gonna
Don't
start
mind if
getting
I
high
do.
again, Ron?
Let's spark this thing up, man.
You straight edge still, Ron?
Yeah. Running that straight edge, still have a little bit of herb just to feel good about myself, you know?
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah, take a little of that edge off, you know?
I'm gonna get high right now.
All right, man. Go smoke it up. Smoke it if you got it, man. See you later, Randy.
We didn't mean to push you into it. It seemed like he was going to do that either way.
Yeah. He was going to go with it.
Well, that's the weird thing about California. They did legalize it, but now people just like those edible things.
Yeah.
They're doing weed in things that they wouldn't normally eat. Like somebody tried to give me chocolate-covered coffee beans that were marijuana. It's like, I wouldn't eat this if it was...
Anyway.
I understand, like, gummy bears and stuff, but, like... They're just making up ways to get high now.
The espresso beans are what I was really into, where I eat like 3 or 4 in the morning and eat a couple during the course of the day. And that's what fucking...
It seems like they would counteract each other. The caffeine
Speedball.
and
It's a poor man's speedball.
Yeah.
I was getting high as fuck.
Oh, man, love getting high.
That sounds pretty cool, dude.
Almost legal now, too, dude.
I like to have a little of my eggs in the morning. You know what I'm saying, dogs out?
Make it a little spicy. You know what I mean?
Still haven't eaten an egg, though, Ronnie.
There's a little extra spice in there for you. I think you're going to like it.
Come to the chef, dog.
Hope you're not driving because those brake lights come up fast in the windshield. Yeah, plug away, Chris. I know you like to do the plugging.
Yeah, well, let everyone know. Paul Morrissey's in studio. He's
Just do it as me. Say, I'm Paul Morrissey.
I'm Paul Morrissey.
Oh, see.
That's good, though.
Really
That's good.
We'll be playing Zanies in Chicago December 14th to the 17th. He's co-hosting Come to Papa with Tom Papa. And go to paulhasawebsite.com for all his additional dates.
Are you and Tom Papa close buddies?
Yeah. We worked on a couple TV shows, and then we're kind of in the same neighborhood in L.A., so we just started doing the podcast every Tuesday. And
I consider him one of the, I call him comedy's good guys.
Yeah.
He's just a really nice fucking guy.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are like they're into their own head. You know what I mean? But Tom will check around on other people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how you doing?
That's a nice
that's very rare for a funny person to say. They'll say, how am I doing? You've been watching.
Am
me.
I great or what? Not great?
Do you think I'm in the pocket? Do you think my career should be bigger than it is right now?
Yeah, that was both, I think, Gaffigan and Tom both kind of looked like dads before they were dads.
That's
even.
a good call.
And they have that kind of, I don't know, Tom was always, like when I moved to New York, it was, he was one of the 6 or 7 guys that was working every club and headlining. And I mean, he's done, he just did another special that comes out in December. I think he's done 4 specials in 6 years or something. So, that's like Bill Burr, Gaffigan, him. Like,
who's he putting it out with,
I think Epics, and then it goes on Hulu and ends up everywhere.
I'm an Epics
eventually.
guy.
Okay, yeah.
I get it on my television and I enjoy it. They get a lot of different movies.
You get CISO on there? Epics?
I don't know where to get CISO.
I don't either.
I would like to.
I'm trying to. I see on Facebook that all these things are on there.
Yeah.
And even if I click on the page, it doesn't take me to CISO. It doesn't give me any directions.
It's hard to keep up these days.
It's too many things.
Yeah. I went to Amazon to see Woody Allen's new show, and I ended up just buying sneakers. I forgot what I was doing. I'm like, that's not bad, and I'll be here within 24 hours. Now, do you know that Trump is going to go after Amazon?
For what specifically?
Unfair trade stuff that they are, in his opinion, putting the big box stores out of business.
If he does away with that 2-day shipping,
it's
I'll be
over.
really upset.
Look,
anybody who's taking money out of Walmart, I'm really upset with.
Yeah, to me, it's got to be all Walmart. Well, look, there's President Obama and LeBron James, the new president of the United
Pretty
States.
sure that's Joe Biden. What?
Joe Biden's playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers now. Just a fucking little spark plug. Just a tough little point guard. You can always count on him.
I like it.
Oh, yeah. He's a fucking floor leader, I don't know what he's going to do for work now, Joe Biden. Well, his wife works. That'll be nice. It'll bring in some money.
You think he'll just retire? Just hang out at home?
I don't know.
Catch up on Netflix, I bet. It's been a long few years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years since he's had a chance to really sit down and watch some of these fucking movies on. If I was running Netflix, I'd say Netflix, movies that you've already seen before they got here. I went around Netflix last night looking for something to watch. First of all, I'll say this. I have a problem that they mix up comedy movies with stand-up specials. That should be 2 different areas.
That's true.
I'm not in the mood for both. I'm in the mood for either.
I always go to Netflix. That's like the first thing I do if I'm like, what do I want to watch? Always.
Do you have pay-per-view at your house, though?
Yeah, I have pay-per-view.
And you go to Netflix before?
Yeah, because usually...
They're 5 years old. Every fucking movie's 5 years old.
Yeah, but a lot of times I'm going there for shows, sometimes for documentaries. Like, they have the biggest collection of documentaries.
Yeah, there's no doubt that they have the most documentaries. But do you want to watch a documentary every night? I'm not here to educate myself. I want to fucking, you know what I mean? I want to fucking watch a show.
That's what I do. That was my New Year's resolution.
Watch more documentaries?
One a day. Just watch
You should make a documentary about you watching a documentary every day.
I would agree that documentary is not like a downtime thing. Like your head has to be in it.
I do have to quit though, because every time I talk to somebody, my first sentence is, "Hey, I just watched this documentary," because you always learn something new and you want to pass it along, and then it just becomes an annoying thing.
Yeah,
that
it
you
is
do.
an annoying thing, and just because it's a documentary doesn't mean that it's true. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't being made by professors; it's being made by some kid.
Or if anybody else cared, they would have watched it.
Right.
you know?
Right.
Nobody wants to know about George Plimpton except for me, I guess.
I love that documentary.
That one's great.
Now, years ago, when there was this documentary, King Corn, I had a friend who had saw it before me.
You sure it wasn't a can of corn?
And it was like he was like he liked a little bit of the reefer, so he's
Sure.
not going to have a great
too.
grasp of it.
All do.
I'm hearing this dude try to explain. So he's like, "You seen King Corn?" No, I don't know what that is. It's a documentary. What's it about? Corn. Everything's corn. What are you saying? Corn. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, you're corn and everything. And I'm like, this is what you're, like, that can't be what it is. Like, and he was just like, you're corn. He just kept saying, you're corn. I, like, really had to go watch it because it was just insane. But
Was he right? At the end of the day, was he right?
Like, there's one moment in which they're saying, you know,
I think
because
it's in all your shit.
it's in every most edible things that you eat have some portion of corn, and we consume so much of it that part of your body
is corn.
Is corn.
Right.
But like it
My
was
kneecaps
just
are
like
corn,
the
mostly.
most basic. Like, you got to see it, dude. You're corn. Just like, what are you saying?
You gotta
to me?
stop fucking
It's
hanging
like
out with that guy.
Everybody's corn. It's just like all corn.
Do you guys ever watch documentary now?
Yeah.
Well, that fucking John Mulaney who's in here is the fucking genius of that.
Yeah.
He writes
Oh, really?
a ton of those. And they do some bizarre, funny fucking shit
Yeah.
on there. They really do.
Yeah,
But you
that
have
is-
to love documentaries.
You do, and it's such a long, like, it's almost like you have to leave it on, because then you, like,
Right.
come in and out, and then you catch something that was in, like,
That's a good call.
Blue Line or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
That was
but she
great.
just proved why documentaries are so hard to pitch, because that guy was like, I got this great movie. What's it about? Corn, man.
It's just fucking corn. Everything's corn. You're corn. It's all corn.
It is true that as you get, every year that you get older, you get more curious about the way thing works. Like, I never thought, you could watch something on fucking Paper Cups and be like, oh, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
So that's how they make them and get them to the store. You don't want to watch that when you're a little kid. It
Yeah.
drives you
No.
nuts. But as you get older, every year you're like, oh, so that's how water moves through the plumbing system.
Or like for some reason you have to be, you either have to be old or really, really little. Because I remember loving it when like Mr. Rogers used to do that shit. He was always in some factory, and there would be like just like assembly lines, like Sesame Street did that. So it's like you age out of interest in the way things are made at like 4.
Right.
You're just like, I don't care anymore. And then you go back to it.
Everybody that I grew up with, their dads worked on assembly lines. The assembly line was a normal thing in this country, and now it's kind of weird. I did some shipping assembly lines, and the line would be running, and you would be sitting there, and you're doing stuff. Sometimes all you'd have to do is put one thing on, but you got to do
Right.
it for everything. And then at a certain point, it felt like the line itself was still, but the whole room was shooting.
That's
And you would just
creepy.
do this thing of fuck. And you would see somebody do it near you, like, you're like, oh, you fucking got it, man.
How many times would you just take your glove off and put it on something and just give it away? You let go every big or no?
That's in the beer business. That's what we would call a Laverne.
Play that theme.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the theme songs that you
See, these guys, they don't like themes that tell the story of the show. I do.
Well, the greatest one I heard in this story, I don't know if I could say that this is definitely true, but I think it was written in 20 minutes on opium, the theme for Sanford and Son by the great Quincy Jones. You need a song about garbage. That's what they told him.
Now, you know who I don't think had a good theme song, and it's the most celebrated show ever? I'm not crazy about the Seinfeld. With just that short little... I don't like it at all.
It's
And
catchy, though. That's the thing. You know that's the show right away. You hear it.
But that's because we've all seen the show a million times. I've seen that show so much, and I'm like, oh, that's taking me out of it a little bit.
Right, and there's no like you don't really spend enough time with it. Like something like Friends.
Yeah.
You're going to sing along. You're going to have a good time.
I'll be there for you. See, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because I feel like I'm with my friends then. You know? Like I'm having
just a couple of friends.
Yeah. Curb Your Enthusiasm was like a bank commercial or something.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think that's very distinct too.
I love the Curb. It's coming back too. The show's coming back.
Yeah, that's great. What's the other one? The Billy Joel one? Bosom Buddies?
Bosom Buddies did My Life, which was, but they had somebody sing it besides Billy Joel.
Well, they had another theme song in the pilot that was terrible.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
You can look it up. They have that one.
I don't know. Chris seems
really
like he's looking up. He's like one behind us this whole time. You're like one behind. Whatever.
Will
we're
I
talking
what?
about.
Will I what? Oh, baby, you know what I like.
Can't find your clip, and I'm looking fast.
All right, so this says Bosom Buddies.
Search for what?
I feel like he's not getting a lot of our Big Bopper references.
You're the Big Bopper.
Do you not know the Big Bopper, Chris?
Yes, I know the Big
I
Bopper.
want you to start wearing a big stupid
Chris,
suit.
do you?
Yes, here's the Bosom Buddies intro.
Yeah, this is the famous one. I want to hear the pilot.
All right.
I think there's one that's...
But listen, this isn't Billy Joel singing this.
I
Oh, that is.
No, that is him.
You got the wrong one, Chris. You got a fake one.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
What? Seriously, I never get tired of you saying that. Is this the
really
pilot?
Great.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right.
Ew.
He's talking about his penis. I got it. And Chris has got a big podcast going on right now, Vito, and you guys had Natalie from Big Brother on the show.
Natalie Negrodi from Big Brother 18, who came in 5th. We had her on the show. Episode's up now in the iBang.
Best known for her big showmance with James.
How did you get her on the show?
We booked
Your
her for...
show is doing that good? Your show is so well known as a Big Brother supplement show that they're bringing... Now, did you have her sister on with her?
Her sister was busy filming the interview for her.
Because everything's in real time, right? Big Brother?
Yeah, everything is in real time. Chris, you ever find the pilot?
I'm not finding the pilot opening.
See if you can find the co-pilot. It's just as good. But the guy's
So
just
somebody
sitting there.
else who does the... It's not him who sings the opening?
Well, I don't think they wanted to pay. There's Jim Florentine walking by. He's number... He's one of three,
One
right?
of three.
One of three. Still going for that Joe Montana football.
Wow.
I know. I lost. I think I made it to week 6.
That's good, though.
That is
Week
pretty
6
good.
I
is
always do, though. And then I think it was the Jets for my demise again.
Yeah. I'm always pulling for you, too, buddy. I always want you to win.
Man.
All right, got the pilot theme song.
Let's see if this is as good as my life. Yeah,
Oh, they have a great time.
You look at Tom Hanks there, and I remember him saying that he had no money when he did this. And, they just, they flew him out, they gave him an apartment, they gave him the thing. But you look at the confidence in this young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked like he was as confident that he was already a star. It's such a great idea for a show. 2 men dressing like women so they could have a cheap hotel
Right.
in the women's hotel.
Right. And they're bosom buddies because they have fake
It's
breasts.
like saying they're tit friends.
Yeah. Titty friends.
Oh, the great Thelma Hopkins was in that. Anybody know what musical group Thelma Hopkins was in?
Pointer Sisters?
Nice try, no.
Supremes.
Supremes. Yeah, at a certain point, racism becomes
Oh,
disgusting.
God.
I'm not racist.
What is
Everybody
it?
knows who the Supremes are. That's like if I said, hey, a white guy was in a band, you would go, the Beatles? She was in Dawn.
Oh,
Tony
really?
Orlando
Oh.
and Dawn.
Knock 3 times.
On the Ceiling If You Want Me, and then twice on the Pipes if you ain't going to show. At a certain point, dude, if you don't hear back from me, just let it go. That's what I know about
Yeah, that's
that.
how you'll know. No sound.
Was she locked in the basement or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
understand it.
It's a scary song for a lot of people. And then the song Tie a Yellow Ribbon, which we use as a positive, but in those days it was for a guy coming home from jail. But
Oh, really?
now we used it for servicemen. But at the time, if you listen to it, it's like, I'm coming home, I've done my time, is the opening line. And he says, I raped a kid, but it wasn't mine. Are you just going to put on every song we're talking about, Chris?
Oh, I thought this was like going to be a theme of something.
What are you, a human fucking jukebox over there? Turn this off, please.
My favorite is it's always the song that's named after a name that you've never heard before. Candida.
Well, you know the thing about Candida is that we can make it together. That is funny. Candida is the girl's name in the song. And you'd think that somebody from the record company would go, can we change this to Marianne or Jennifer?
There is no Candida.
It's a town in Pennsylvania.
Candida, we can make it together. That's fucking hilarious.
Why didn't an insurance company just run with that and name themselves Candida?
This is why you're an idea man, Paul. You're coming up with... Are you hitting in more stuff?
Oh, my God. No. Candida?
It's all these documentaries, right?
I'd like to hear it. You already have it.
Here's Candida.
Now, this is how fucking smoggy that the fucking 70s were. You had to say, we're going to go somewhere where the air's fresh and clean. Where it's not as gray as the city.
I think it was a town in Pennsylvania then, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fucking filthy. Filthy factory town. Sure is bright. Oh, God, stop it, Chris.
That's too much, Candida. You know it.
You're fucking driving me nuts.
So that wasn't that lady that sang that bad theme song, though, was it?
I don't know who that was. I have no idea if that was the great Thelma Houston. Is that her name, Thelma Houston, or Thelma something? Stop typing, Chris. You're driving me nuts. Luther, Coney Island.
Come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
Can you dig it? Buddy in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Mr. B. A moment ago you were talking about the great Thelma Hopkins.
Yeah.
From Orlando and Dawn.
Yeah.
She was also the female singer in the song Shaft.
I did not know that to this fucking minute. Are you telling me this?
What you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Thelma Hopkins. You know, she was part of the Motown family, and she was a studio backup singer. You know,
buddy, I'm sending you into the pretty good prize closet, and you're going to get a pretty good prize for that.
Nice.
All right.
Very cool.
You deserve one. I love hearing facts like that.
And something that you can't even verify. So it's just
I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to verify. I don't care if it's true or not.
I'm just going to tell people that.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to carry it forever now and telling people. Look at this. Wherever you look, there's anti-Trump protest.
Yep.
Wherever you look. Oh, jeez. Well, maybe it'll all work out. Maybe we need to build a bigger wall. Or maybe we're building a wall, but it's only going to be about, knee high.
Maybe we just need a bridge from New York to L.A. Over the middle? Is that what they want?
It's starting to feel like, dude. Starting to feel like. Well, Hollyweird. I like to call them out there.
You came up with that?
Yeah, land of the fruit nuts. That's what I say. That's how I, because I'm a lunch bucket Joe.
Oh, yeah, that's clever.
I'm a knock-around guy. I'm just a regular, a ham and egg or a strap hanger. That's me.
10-day contract.
That's all I need. Let me come in and, take care of it a couple weeks.
You notice that only people on the news say strap hanger? Like, not any other commuter or New Yorker say, as a strap hanger, the thing that I really don't like.
I've never heard that before.
Yes. New York One throws it around a lot. Like, strap hangers will be upset to hear about the F train this weekend.
I use it to put people down if I'm mad at them for something. I'll just call them a strap hanger.
What is that? What does that mean?
It means that you're on the subway and you're hanging onto a strap.
Right. Because it used to be just almost like a leather strap that they used to hang on instead of like the poles.
I was picturing the guys in the building, with the lunch boxes and
those guys. But I'll call people strap hangers when they're riding coach. I'm in first class. I'll go get back there with the rest of the strap hangers. I'm about to have a goddamn hot meal up here.
I think you were the first one I heard that said ham and egger.
Well, a ham and egger came, that might be a wrestling or carny term when they would give the jobbers, you would get like $1 and then you would get a plate of ham and eggs.
Nice.
So you're called a ham and egger.
That's where it came from?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice hot breakfast is part of your pay.
Look, you wanted to, back in those days, back in the 1980s, you wanted to get food wherever you could, You had to
Hard
be
times.
prepared. Oh, fuck this with the Reagan years, And we used to say, well, I'm just sucking the country's ass pump. That was a big saying.
I didn't know
we
that.
had. Yeah, when things were
I
bad.
was just a baby, so I didn't know.
Yeah. Chris, you heard this before, I'm sure, in Astoria, right?
Yeah.
Who brought up Astoria last night? Somebody said they lived in Astoria forever.
That was Anthony Atamanik.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you never see him around town.
I never see him.
How big is Astoria that every comic lives there and they never bump into each other?
They're on the Ditmar side. That's deeper into Queens. And I'm like 5 or 6 train stops. I'm close to Long Island City, but I am in Astoria.
I kind of feel like if you want to brag about living in Astoria, you should be able to see the East River from your apartment.
I can.
You got to be that close.
Yeah, I can.
Because I get deeper than that. I just go, oh, deep Queens, turn around.
It's basically Long Island,
Yeah.
deep Queens.
Thank you.
You can smell it. That's all you need.
I love it. I love
Smell
the
the East
smell of it.
River.
I love it.
Of what? Your own jizz?
The smell of my own semen. East River water.
Oh, man.
And my neighborhood in general. Paul Morrissey's in studio.
I like when Paul gets here because you're exposed.
Yeah.
He's playing Zanies in Chicago, December 14th to the 17th. He's co-hosting Come to Papa with Tom Papa. Go to allthingscomedy.com to download it. On Twitter, it's at Paul Morrissey. And go to paulhasawebsite.com for additional dates.
Chris, can I get the Amazon on my TV?
Yes, you
What
can.
do I got to
Yeah,
do? Do I
Prime.
get something different?
Yeah, you just have to, sign up for it.
Get
I'm
yourself
signed up for it, but
Get yourself a Fire Stick.
Okay, you need a Fire Stick or a Chromecast or a Roku box or
I don't
possibly...
want to use the fucking thing that I have
Do you have
already.
an Xbox?
It's on your Xbox.
Yeah, I got a fucking Xbox.
I
What am
don't know. Do I have
have an
something like
Xbox.
that?
Yeah.
You're good
How
on
come I
Xbox.
can use it?
What's that?
I don't know.
You got an Xbox, probably.
Uh-uh.
Do you have a Roku box?
What are you playing?
I
your
don't
Madden
know.
on?
I'm a girl.
What do you play
set
Madden?
everything up. There's 2 clickies, and I know which one. Which one goes to which,
I think
and
clicker,
that's all I know.
I think clicker might be just a Philly term.
Really, because when I remember moving to New York,
Yeah.
and somebody heard me say it, and they're like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "Oh, just pass me the clicker," and they're like, "The remote? Like you call it a clicker?
First of
like
all,
what do you
shut
like?"
the fuck
And they
up.
were like really mean
Condescending.
to me about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, well,
Like,
let's go over there
really
tonight.
Do you
hurt my
still know who they
feelings.
are? Can we fuck them up?
Yeah, I still know who they
When's
are.
the last time you got out of a car with a baseball bat? We'll go take care of it. Hey, you need to. I know we gotta get out of here quick and let Ope have the studio. Looks like he's bringing in Big Mean Jim Florentine, still in it to win it.
1 of 3.
And I'm pulling for all of them. I'd be happy to see Florentine win this.
I hope they all go down after I win.
Let me
or
tell you
after I
something.
lose.
After I met Florentine's kid, I think that should be a TV show. His kid is adorable.
Really cute.
Yeah. And then you got Florentine kind of gruff and taking him to metal shows. And it's the cutest thing you've ever
But
seen in
he
your life.
looks like a kid actor. Like he has that.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He has the hair for it.
He looks like E.T. would land in his fucking house or some shit like that. We got anything else we need to plug there, Christy?
Bert Kreischer Unmasked tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're also giving out a signed Bert Kreischer Unmasked poster for first responders. And then on the iBang, you can download the newest episode of Big Brother and the Holding Company, where Vito and I interview Natalie Negrati from Big Brother 18.
How did you get a booking like that? You got one of the big stars from last year.
Poaching from the Bennington show.
You don't have to be honest. You could just say that your guys are becoming really known.
They love us in the
Yeah.
Big Brother community.
Are they? You guys really catching on big?
Yeah, we're up there.
Do they know that you're the Trump cuck and that's the other thing that you've been doing on Periscope?
We keep the Trump stuff out of the Big Brother talk.
Let me know when the next Trump cuck is going by because I'm a fan.
Okay, you'll know.
All right. Great. All right. Anything else to plug, Christy?
I could give Paul Morrissey one more plug.
I love to because I love this guy.
What?
Paul's
Do a what?
Do a what?
Plug a what?
Paul's performing at Zanies in Chicago, December 14th to the 17th. He's co-host Come to Papa on allthingscomedy.com and go to paulhasawebsite.com for all his dates.
Very
Sounds
good.
great.